Oh, I know what's going. I've got a picture somewhere of I took. Let me find. Give me a sec.
Good luck. Good luck. Go for it. OMG, I'm on Snipetality's friends list. Going fucking mental right now. March 27th, 2012, 4:11 p.m.
Yeah, no, I remember that actually.
Yeah.
That was one of the last videos I made before I just quit YouTube at that point.
When you know your grandparents, you just know that version of them, of where you met them as a child, and like the first memory you could form of them up until now, you know them. But now it's like, hey, Bucko, you want to know what I was like when I was your age? You want to see a clip of me saying the word cunt or something like that? It's like, what the Gramps? You were, oh my God, what did you just say? You were like this? That's crazy. Why aren't you like this anymore? You're so uncool now. Well, before we continue to have an existential crisis.
I was gonna say, can we move on? Because I'm like this close to a full-on existential crisis. Right? Like, can we move on, please? I'm begging you.
Jesus Christ.
Please, just like, move on. I'm begging.
Okay, you're getting there. Fuck. All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is currently September 1st, 4:08 p.m. as of this recording. If you're watching on YouTube, then perfect. You're just about to experience a glorious and absolutely iconic interview that I hope you do enjoy of the one and only HiddenXperia. However, this is a part of a live show called Nade at Night that I run once a month, the first Friday of each month on my Twitch channel. So if you ever want to come catch the entire 4-segment, fairly live show live, it'll be the first Friday of each month at 7 p.m. Central. Otherwise, enjoy. Luke? Hello, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm decent. I'll get by. I'm all right. How you doing?
Get by. We'll get by. I'm good. I'm good for the most part. Feeling good. Feeling healthy. Just getting by. Getting through it all.
Beautiful.
As much as possible. But with that, first question I have of the list. First and foremost, for anyone who doesn't know you, for first and foremost, HiddenXperia. Monster YouTuber in terms of the Halo community, but over 500,000 subscribers. You've been doing it for a really long time. But first and foremost, when it comes to aliases online, when we don't really use our main, names, a lot of people typically have questions, even if they don't get the opportunity to ask. Where did HiddenXperia come from? How did you come up with it? And were there ever any other aliases that you may have went by before you landed and stuck with this?
Honestly, the latter question, I genuinely can't remember. I don't think that, most of my names before this came from RuneScape accounts, and I had loads of RuneScape accounts that had like different names and stuff like that, so okay. I honestly can't remember, but HiddenXperia, so break it down to 2 sections. Hidden is something called HLG, or it's from something called HLG. Yep. I love talking about this. Every time someone asks me, let's talk about this. So back in like late Halo 2, Halo 3, and Reach, there was this kind of like community called HLG, which was essentially, so you got the lead in the game in Halo, you play with a full team, you got the lead in the game, and then you hid on the enemy team for like 10-15 minutes. Yep. But the thing was, you didn't just like sit, well, sometimes you just sit in a corner, sometimes, like, for example, there was a really funny spot on the pit in Halo 3 where you'd crouch under a pallet near Mauler and just sit there.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah,
it used to work so well. That's the craziest thing, right? But a lot of the spots were like trick jumps, stuff like grenade jumps, power drain jumps, trip mine jumps, brute shot jumps, like butterflying, stuff like that. So they took skill to get into, and I used to love doing HLG. So I took the hidden part of my name from that, and then the Xperia part, I still don't know. Like, I made that name when I was like 12 or 13.
Oh man.
So like so Sony have got a phone called the Xperia, right? And I think it was around that time when it like came out, but I never had one. I never wanted one. In fact, I genuinely don't think I even knew, at least consciously, that it existed. I think I just picked out, because like back in the day, if you had an X in your name, you were cool, right? Like an X in the name meant like you were a cool guy on the internet.
The more X's, the cooler you were.
Exactly. So I was like, right, you know what? I want a word that has an X in it. And for some reason, I just picked that word out of thin air, and here we are. I still don't know why.
Goddamn. I mean, you might want to contact Sony for particular licensing rights. I think they might be invoking on something there. I don't know. You did it first.
Know, one day I'm just going to change it to hidden, and if I ever do that, you'll know why.
Where'd it go? Oh, lordy. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, everyone's got some sort of unique thing about the backgrounds, origins of what, you know, how they go online. Some it's very drawn out of how they got to that point. Some it's like, you know, just thought it was, I just thought it was cool. There's nothing really there. Lordy. Okay, well, how long? I know, but and obviously you do. But how long have you been on YouTube creating content, etc., making videos, uploading videos? If you can remember, sometimes people forget if it's been so long. But if you can remember, how long have you been on YouTube creating content, whether it's consistently, whether it was just for fun, whatever?
So the earliest that I can remember was probably 2008. I used to make like real shitty RuneScape videos, like really bad, like RuneScape money making guide,
yeah, damn.
or like RuneScape like woodcutting guide or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was on an account that I can't even remember the name of. It's probably, honestly, it probably doesn't even exist anymore. It probably got like, fell through the cracks when the Google Plus thing happened.
Oh god,
that was ancient memory there.
Yep.
But HiddenXperia started in 2010. So the first like 3 years of HiddenXperia, I was young. I just kind of made anything. I had no direction with it. Like YouTube, I watched like loads of the big YouTubers like Jericho, Gold Glove, Optic Hex, like all the optics guys, early phase guys, Syndicate, Ali A, like all the big like, Call of Duty guys back in the day. And I was like, maybe one day I can do that. One day, but then like I never thought that that it would get anywhere, because it was the whole industry was still very much like in its infancy back then.
Absolutely.
Like, we're talking like 2010, 2011 kind of era.
There's a very big question mark around it all, even with Google owning it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It seemed like one of those things that it was just too good to be true. Like, play video games for a living? Nah, no way.
No way.
So like my first 3 years of YouTube up to like 2013, I kind of just like did anything. I posted some Halo, zombies, Minecraft, Skyrim, just like anything really. And I got like 1,000 subs in 3 years, which is decent. That's a good milestone. But the views were just really bad. Like it wasn't like worth doing. So I hit the point when in 2013 I was in for any people watching from the UK, I was in year 11 doing GCSEs, so like pretty like important exams. And I quit YouTube at that point because like Halo wasn't getting it. I'd fully switched to Halo at that point. It wasn't getting any views. It was like mid Halo 4. Nobody was watching Halo content at all. And I quit. I basically just quit. I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. But for all the time that I wasn't doing it, like I genuinely thought something was missing. Like there was something. I'd get home from school and I'd be like, I should be making videos.
What do I do now?
Exactly. Like I thought there was a massive void, right? So my last year of high school, before I went to university, I didn't want to go to university, but I was kind of like forced to.
Yep. Don't blame you.
I didn't want to do it. I didn't. Same. I wasn't looking forward to it. I was doing something that was like absurdly difficult that I just didn't get along with. And I was like, it was like March. We finished school in July of that year, and it was in the March where I was like, right, I need an out. Like I can't do uni like all this time and then go and do a job in it. I just
You're gonna go fucking crazy. Absolutely. Yeah,
right, literally. So so at that point I was like, right, I'm gonna start YouTube again. Halo 5 was on the horizon. It was like 8 months before Halo 5 came out. I was like, right, okay, I'm gonna dedicate myself to this, unlike anything else. I came back to it, dedicate myself to it, and then here we are. It worked out.
7 months or 7 years later.
Yeah, seven and a half years later. Yeah, pretty much.
That's incredible. That's god damn. A lot of people don't really think about that. About like when people think about creators' origins, they feel like for the most part you just kind of think, oh, they've been consistently doing this from when they started to where they are now, and they just kept pedaling and kept pedaling. But a lot of people do have those moments where they're very unsure of what they're doing and if it's gonna work. You constantly see, successful people, and they're like, you see this little area in my analytics. Yeah, I quit right before that massive jump, where I was thinking about quitting, and I was just like, if this doesn't work out, I gotta go take the day job, take the office job, and just be miserable for the rest of my life. And obviously, it's not like a bad thing. Just for some other people, it just doesn't work. Going to university isn't bad, but.
Right, like not at all. It's just like personal preference kind of thing.
Yeah.
But by the end of high school, like I was so done with just like education in general. I ended up doing uni all 3 years. I hated every second of it. I hated what I was doing. It was so difficult. It took up so much of my time. I wanted to be doing something else. And I mean, to be fair, I did. I spent most of my time in lectures at uni writing videos. So, like, I was so checked out from like day one of that that I just focused on YouTube the entire time, really.
That's good.
Focused on something I actually enjoyed.
You definitely lasted longer than I did. I took a gap year before college, and I was just like, I was trying to figure my shit out. But I was just like, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna get this computer science degree, and everything's gonna be fine. But like, realistically, I knew in the back of my head, I was just trying to secure a plan B. So whatever plan A that I found was like, if it didn't work out, I'm like, well, still got that degree. But I was even after that gap year, I spent about 3 months in uni, and I was like, well, I think I actually just really fucking hate school. I can't stand this. It was worse. I thought it was going to be a fairly sociable experience, but it's really only if you live on campus. Other than that, if you're not a very outgoing person, you are just there and out, and it is, I hated it. You know, there are some great college experiences people have, but what I experienced, it was not great. Just a bit of a waste of my time, but yeah, no, absolutely. Some people just, they have those moments in where they eventually get to where sometimes they do doubt themselves and they doubt if it's gonna work and they take a break or they say this isn't gonna work, and sometimes they'll come back to it, and that's okay. Because at least you did it, you tried it, you went through that trial and error. And you know, maybe you would have doubted yourself at some point, or maybe you just weren't ready yet. That's fine.
That's how I feel. The more I look back on it, I just realized that when I was doing it when I was like really young, I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't mature enough to like understand how to do it like strategically. I had no sense of direction. I went through very small periods of having like a little bit of direction. Like when Skyrim came out, I stayed up all night and uploaded like so many quests. All the videos blew up, and I should have stuck doing that. But then like 2 weeks later, I just stopped and like posted some, I don't know, Minecraft video or something that got like 10 views. Like, I just had no direction at all. Granted, I think I was 14 at the time, so I can be forgiven for having no sense of direction or like
Ain't nobody got direction at those ages. Even well, sometimes into their 20s, like 20-year-olds are still just kind of like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm along for the ride. We'll figure it out in due time.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, I think that was the biggest thing for me. I wasn't ready for it yet.
100%.
And there was also the fact that the industry, like I said, was so much in its infancy at that time that there was no like, there were like North Stars to look to, like big, it was mostly like big COD YouTubers back in the day that I used to watch that were like the kind of North Star. But even then, like, they didn't really have much strategy. They did to a degree, but it's nothing like it is nowadays. So you've got a schedule, you upload this video on this day, this,
trigger words, like keywords, description words, everything. You gotta.
The craziest thing back in the day was people copy and pasting other people's tags and put them in the description, and then other people getting mad about it. That was the biggest thing back in the day. That was like the most SEO related thing. I remember this is. If anybody watching remembers this, then shout out to you. There was a massive like fight between a bunch of COD YouTubers back in the day with White Boy 7th Street because he used to copy other people's tags and put them in his description. And it was like, it wasn't against YouTube TOS, but I'm pretty sure it was like really frowned upon because like it was like kind of gaming the algorithm. And he used to do it all the time. And there was like always someone getting mad at him for it. I don't know if you can do that nowadays. I'm pretty sure they made it so you can't do that because it like messes with the algorithm.
I think so. I think they've, from what I've heard is, I've seen people do it over the past like a few years ago, but I think nowadays, they just kind of like put this weird little like, today I did this in Halo Reach, the greatest video game from Microsoft. And later you'll see me do in Halo Reach, blah, 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 this. And it's the most robotic fucking thing ever, but it's just like, gotta keep saying it over and over again so the algorithm really knows this is a Halo Reach video.
Gotta repeat that title 3 times in the description and in the tags.
Absolutely. But nowadays, it's not just like, okay, tags, just copy, paste them in there. It's kind of, but not really, no.
Yeah, I also feel like as well, like when you get like a decent following, you kind of like ease up on like being really like hard nailed down on SEO. Like you still want to go for it, but you don't have to be as strict with it as you are when you first want to like get your videos ranked in the algorithm and get people finding them.
Making YouTube videos back then was not necessarily not easy, but yeah, I think everyone was just kind of wandering around aimlessly. And I think in a way it was more special back then because it wasn't like, oh, they're doing this because the algorithm favors it. It was just like, you made content for the most part you wanted to make. Maybe some people would be like, well, I know if I do this, people will enjoy it. But it's so much more apparent now, especially with a lot of larger content creators where it's just recycled stuff every single day. You've got the reacting face right on the side with maybe some red arrows or red circles. Exactly. And then every single day. I thought we looked at this on the stream once. I was like, man, Nick Mercs has a really big YouTube channel. He's uploading content daily. Like, his editor is probably paid like massively. He's doing all this work. And we went and looked at a video, and I'm like, it's just a section of his stream taken, maybe cut up into bits, but for the most part, it's just like a consistent from point A to point B, and then the point of the video is like 30 seconds of him talking at the end. Yeah. And I'm like, that editor's got the easiest fucking job of his life.
That's the thing, right? Like, if you get big on Twitch before you get big on YouTube, I find it's easier than the other way around, because the content you can make from a stream is so much easier than the other way around. So like streaming off of videos, at least personally, I find to be a lot harder than cutting down a stream. Like, obviously there are ways of doing that are a lot like higher edited or more in depth, but like with that kind of content, you don't necessarily need to, especially if you've already got a big following on Twitch. Like, if you have a big following on Twitch and you aren't turning your VODs into videos that are like really simply edited, why? Like, it's free views and free revenue. You may as well do.
Exactly. If it's any amount interesting, or at least if you have like a decent editor that can make some very simple community. I thought there'd be like some sort of substance there. No, hey, but there wasn't. There wasn't. You could have just watched it in the stream. It would have been the exact same thing. And I'm like, boy, I don't know. It was odd. But yeah, nowadays it's kind of hard to find your footing in YouTube, because you're kind of making the decision of like, should I make what I want to make? Should I chase the trends of what other people are doing? Should I do a mix of the both? You're just kind of left there, I guess, as confused as you were before. But yeah.
I feel like that never goes away. I still feel that with my content. Like, I still feel like there are some videos that I've made where I haven't really wanted to make them, but I feel kind of obligated to make them.
Yep.
And then there's other videos that I've made, but like I've gone into it like knowing full well this is going to be a really niche video. It's going to do shit, but I'm going to enjoy making it and not really care about the views. And that's the thing, right? Like, this is, again, something that will never go away, just no matter how big you get. Like, I've spoken to people with like 3-4 million subs who say the exact same thing, right? You will always have a degree of like nervousness releasing a video, whether like worried about whether it's going to do well or not. And that's exacerbated when a video is like experimental or you're doing something different. Like, for example, with the branch out stuff that I've done recently, like I've been like nervous releasing that because it's videos that I've put as much, if not in some cases more work in than a regular, like an average Halo video. But like, I just know it's not going to do as well because it's like, I don't know. It's all a mind game. YouTube is like a mind game more than anything. It's just about keeping composure, realizing that not every video is going to be a banger.
Absolutely.
Just like not every video is going to like flop. Like, you're going to have videos in the middle. Some videos are going to do really bad. Some are going to do really good. You just got to accept that. It's part of the game.
Absolutely. Just absolutely recognize that and understand that, like, hey, it's not every video is going to be 1 out of 10. You know, it's not going to be the 1 out of 10. It's not going to be doing amazingly, because I mean, the people who do subscribe to you, you know, you have like, you're super dedicated, like, I'll watch anything HiddenXperia puts out. I don't give a shit. I'll watch it from start to finish. And then you have some people that like, yeah, I like his content. They'll look at your subscriptions, see the video and be like, yeah, it doesn't look super interesting. So I'll skip this one for now. And that varies, but absolutely, like, it's hard to strike a balance between like, what should I make and what do I want to make? And it's like, it's a spectrum. Should you lean all the way into either side, try to, you know, find a middle area? But yeah, it's just, that's the problem, is like, sometimes you get so sucked into that rhythm of uploading something and then poring over the analytics and being like, how did it perform? How did it do in this area? Like, who's watching it? How long are they watching it for? What areas are they rewatching? And then you just kind of, you have to then remind yourself that you still have to enjoy what you make and enjoy what you do. And regardless of the outcome, see it through and keep, be wary of how you're thinking and how you're feeling about it and what you're doing through it all. But yeah, absolutely. Very, very well put. So in light of that, if YouTube would have not have worked out for you, if no matter how many times you threw your, you tried it, you uploaded as many videos as you possibly could, you tried, possibly everything, you couldn't get it to stick for some reason, what would you have tried differently?
Tried differently?
Yep.
I think...
Or tried for next. Sorry, keyword there. What would you have tried for next? If YouTube didn't work out, where if you just kind of sat there, you're like, fuck, I got to do something. What path would you have then potentially taken your life down?
Acting, probably. I wanted to be an actor for quite a while.
Oh, shit.
That would have been the alternative. And I'm really happy that like YouTube landed, because there's definitely an element of like that kind of profession in YouTube. There's like a good amount of overlap. It's actually really cool. Last year, I did my first like camera TV set work that I've ever done. Okay. And that was like my first taste of what that would have been like. And maybe at some point it could have been, or could still be. It was very cool. I realized like that when I did that, I was like, oh shit, I actually really enjoy this. Like, still really enjoy it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. At some point, I would still really like to do something like that, like alongside YouTube. I don't know how or where or when or what capacity, but I don't know. I always wanted to do that. That would have been the next thing, I think. And then if acting failed, then God knows.
God knows. Yeah, that seems to be a common theme with people who have these professions. Is like, listen, if it didn't work out, I don't know what the fuck I'd be doing right now. But thank God it didn't. Some other multiverse version of yourself that's just working some weird day job, just kind of being like, oh, what I'm gonna do from here? I got the wrong outcome. This doesn't seem right. Lordy. Yeah. Huh. That's incredible. That is good though. Like, you at least got to have that experience and kind of know, because we live we live long lives. Assuming you do, you kind of get to the end point for the most part, the expected age range. Yeah, absolutely. But I think a lot of people don't really realize, while things do speed up eventually, it feels like time's just whipping by. You do always have the opportunity to do different things. Yeah. Successful people are not always successful from the start. Sometimes actors don't even begin to even try or get their breakout until like their 30s or 40s or even 50s. And people can be like, oh, I did this for a little while and that was really, that did really well. And then I did this and then I did this and, stuff like that. They could just try whatever you want to do. And if you want to do it, go and do it. You don't have to be like, all right, well, this is my life for the next 60 plus years. That's the thing is with streamers and content creators, no one really kind of thinks about that or talks about like, they're going to keep streaming for the next 60 years, right? Like, they're always going to be here.
That's a thought that like every now and then I have that thought, and it's weird because it makes you realize how like young this industry still is.
Yep.
No one has done this to retirement age yet. Like, no one has done it from like 20 years.
It's only really been around for. It's not even like YouTube isn't even 18 years old yet.
Nah, it's 2005.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Years old. Yep, like it's no one's seen it through. Like, our generation will be the first to see this entire new like area of content and entertainment through like, which is, when you think about it like super long term. I'm talking like hundreds of years. Like, obviously YouTube and stuff won't be around in the exact same way, but it will still be like this kind of content with like, I really hate the term, but influencers and that kind of thing. They will be around for like
etc. Yeah, it will.
Yeah. And when you realize that like we happened to be born at the perfect time to be part of the first kind of like class of it in a way.
Pioneers.
That always trips me out. Yeah, in a way,
Absolutely.
That always really trips me out. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see in like maybe 30, 40 years time where people that like are big now end up, like, especially those that do see it all the way through. Like, could you imagine like a thing like Ninja, for example, like he's like 65 and he's like, right guys, I'm going to retire now, but he's still streaming or something.
Yeah, it is weird to see, because I mean, not only that, the hard part of it is keeping people's attention. Like, you can continue to do it, but like you've seen plenty of YouTubers completely just fall off into obscurity, and hopefully they're living a happy life where they are content with with that outcome. You've seen ones that have come back on other platforms and done well there. I've seen Ray William Johnson on TikTok. He used to be a YouTube pioneer. But yeah, it's very interesting to see how things are going to play out. Is Dr. Disrespect, what is he, 40? Isn't he 40 now? Am I tripping?
Yeah, he's like I think he's like late 30s, early 40s. Yeah.
I swear to God.
I'm pretty sure it's like, I want to say like 37?
He's 40 as of March 10th this year. He's 40 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And we don't think about that at all. You're like, oh, he's just like a, kind of like a 30-ish year old, really good, hip-ish gamer, but he's 40 years old.
You think about like how good he is at games still at that age. That's actually quite wild.
Yeah.
The dude is cracked still, and he's
absolutely
40.
gives us hope. Give me hope. Give me hope for the future. Thank you.
Frail bones. These frail bones have still got some life.
There's proof. But I mean, that's crazy to think, because like I know he has children, but like if he would have had a child at age 20, they would be 20 now, and they could be their own content creator. Like that's insane,
dude.
That's absolutely insane.
The thing. You're gonna start getting dynasties forming over generations as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's so weird, because like now it's like, oh, you know, you have Tom Hanks and Tom Hanks' son who also did acting, and oh my god. Yep. Like Larry Kravitz, who was a great singer, and then his daughter is now in The Batman and all these other movies. And it's just, that's crazy to think about. Like, oh, your dad was like one of the pioneers of Twitch. Let's see how. Oh my God, that's so weird to think about.
It's so trippy when you think about this industry long term, because it is like right now one of the youngest industries out there. But you think about it long term over like think literally hundreds of years. Like, oh yeah, actually, you know how like nowadays you get like, oh yeah, turns out actually my great granddad was like part of like royalty or something. Yeah, my great granddad was actually a Dr. Disrespect. Yeah, like yeah, it's strange.
The weirdest thing as well is like, you know, when we think about our grandparents or just our parents, you know, all we really have are just pictures of them, whether it's like a portrait photo of them in like a studio or like really old pictures. And those times feel like, obviously are a long time ago, but they feel so much even farther away. But now, with what we're doing, if we choose to have kids or our nieces and nephews, etc., they will have an archive of our entire fucking life. It's not like, hey, here's what I looked like at 18, and then here's what I looked like again at 30, because that's when I could afford on the next photograph. This is like, you know, I have a whole fucking clip archive on YouTube of all my Twitch clips from beginning to now. And you could just sit down and watch each single one and watch how that all evolves and changes, and watch how I've evolved and changed as a person for at least like what I've been able, like what I've shown online. That's insane. That like instead of just, oh, here's their portrait on the wall, it's like, hey, you want to look up one of their clips from like 40 years ago? Assuming YouTube would still have it. It's just gonna be so weird.
Here's the mad thing, right? You know those videos where it's like, I took a picture of myself every day for like 15 years?
Yes.
That they're so crazy right now because it's like about 3 people in like every million do it, right?
Yep.
Think about how many more people are gonna have, like you said, archives of like Twitch highlights or videos or vlogs or TikToks, Instagram.
Yeah,
exactly. Like that, it's gonna be weird. Like you said, like old people, it's like, oh yeah, here's a picture of me at 18, and then 45, and then 50. For us, it's like, here's a picture of me at 18 years, 3 months and 4 days, and then here's me at 18 years, 3 months, 4 days, and 7 hours.
And the next day. And the next day. Oh my God. Because that's the thing. When you know your grandparents, you just know that version of them. Of where you met them as a child, and like the first memory you could form of them up until now, you know that. But now it's like, hey bucko, you want to know what I was like when I was your age? Here's thousands and thousands of hours of footage. Here's my creative process and how it evolved over the year. Here's my peak of my life. It's just, that's so crazy to think about, you know? Because it's like, you know, a lot of parents and grandparents, a lot of them for the most part are very child friendly because they have children and they had grandchildren. They're very, you know,
like family centric.
Yes, very family friendly, etc. But like, you want to see a clip of me saying the word cunt or something like that? It's like, what the Gramps? You were, oh my God, what did you just say? You were like this? That's crazy. Why aren't you like this anymore? You're so uncool now. Oh my God, it's just, oh, that's gonna be so weird to experience as time goes on.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird thinking about how like in its infancy this industry is.
Every thought you have, you just like, I'm gonna put that online. I'm gonna write that out and let people know how I'm feeling and how I'm doing. And every episode I'm having, oh my God, I really tried to like really think about that until now, but that's horrifying. That should be for a lot of people, dude.
It is quite horrifying, to be honest with you, knowing that it's like, I don't know, it trips me out thinking about the long-term stuff of this. It really does.
I mean, here's something else you can think about. Fuck it out. We're about, I mean, already, it's the weirdest thing when someone's in my chat and they tell me their age and I'm like, you were born after Halo 3 came out? Are you fucking with me right now?
Dude, I saw this thing the other day where it's like, I can't believe the people that were born in 2004 are 18 now. People that were born almost after Halo 2 came out are now 18. You know, so the older you get, right, the more years you spend on planet Earth,
Yep.
the shorter time seems to last because, like, as a percentage of your life, it's less.
Absolutely.
So, like,
Smaller and smaller. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, like when you're 10 years old, 1 year, it's 10% of your life, but now it's 4%, right?
Yep.
So it goes down and down. So obviously time goes, like, quicker, but, like, it goes too fast, man. Like, maybe that's the boomer in me coming out, but
I feel that. Like, it really does. The older you get, like every year just feels faster and faster, and you're like, summer! Oh my god! It's September! What the fuck? June was yesterday, bro! I was like, today was the first day of summer. It was the longest day of the year, and now I'm like, why is the sun setting?
We're closer to Christmas than we are to, like, May now.
Dude, we're like 2/3 through this year already. Holy shit. Raleigh felt like fucking yesterday, and now it's not. All right. Well, before we continue to have an existential crisis,
I was gonna say, can we move on? Because I'm like this close to a full-on existential crisis. Right? Like, can we move on, please? I'm begging you.
Jesus Christ.
Please, just move on. I'm begging.
I'm getting there. Fuck. Oh my god. There was a Twitter thread you put out the other day that I think is really important for a lot of people to see that do want to potentially follow in these sort of footsteps, or just, God, where is it? Here it is. You basically said, pull this up. Nade has been one of my biggest role models, and this is why. I sacrificed my entire social life during high school / university and spent absurd hours making videos for very little financial return because I was adamant YouTube was what I was going to do. I used to sit in classes writing videos, pulling all-nighters, editing / uploading when I had to be up at 7 a.m., sacrificed grades, never went out or did anything besides grind content, and all the while ignored those who told me it was a waste of time because I knew it wasn't. YouTube / Twitch require unhealthy volumes of work in most cases to be successful. To this day, I still frequently do 15-hour editing stints multiple days in a row. I've made myself physically ill working so long, and I want it, but I want it more than anything, so I do it. Not everyone is willing to do that, and that's fine. And this is the most competitive industry on the planet. You have tens / hundreds of millions of competitors, and you aren't going to make it unless you want it more and can back that want up with hard work and grind. Twitter obviously limits what you can say. Is there anything you want to add to that, or at least kind of like preface to anyone that may have read that?
I wrote that out like quite a few times because I like the other day when there was like 100 Thieves, like Nade shot and Frosty thing happening. It really rubbed me the wrong way because Nade, like I will say, Nade shot and 100 Thieves weren't like completely out of the blame. There was the like 85% from brand deal thing, which was like come on, like I love 100T and I love like Nade shot and everything, but that's ridiculous. Like that is absurd.
100%.
However, there was like the whole thing about streaming like 40 hours a month in your first month when you get picked up by like 100 Thieves, man. Like that's like me picking up a guitar and next week getting a call from Gerard Way saying, hey, do you want to come play for My Chemical Romance? Like, it is literally the same kind of thing.
You show up at like one practice a month or something.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Like, that's such a ridiculous opportunity. Because, like, even Nade said, like, the mob had, like, a big presence, but their, like, actual viewer figures weren't, like, that huge. Like, they weren't, like, typical 100
Before this,
numbers.
I didn't even know who the mob were. I thought he was just a content creator, a part of 100 Thieves. And I was just like, the mob? What? But that, absolutely.
And like, I don't know, a lot of the stuff that like Nade was saying about like how little like it worked and everything, it just, I don't know, I saw quite a few people like, you know, Pomage, the like card montager, like he's in phase now, was in like Optic and stuff like that. Like he tweeted saying something kind of similar to what I said, and I read that and I was like, yeah, you know what, like I feel real similar. I want to say something about that as well, because whenever you see people like one of the things that always really frustrated me back in the day, like you don't really get this anymore, but when I first started doing YouTube and when I realized that I wanted to like try and make it into something, there were so many people that would say like, oh, it's an easy lazy job, you just play games all day, you just do this, it's easy, it's lazy, it's like, and I was like, you don't know. Like,
don't
you sit
understand.
there and you do it for a week. I'm not like pretending to be like, I don't know, I'm not trying to make myself sound like hard done to or anything, or like, I don't know, or anything like that, like a martyr or anything, because that's silly. I'm not. But at the same time, the people that think like that, and there are like still some people that think like that.
Absolutely.
It's just so patently false. Like, anybody who's done this kind of thing, streaming, YouTube, content creation, and has actually like given it a proper shot for like an extended duration of time, knows how much work goes into making this like work. You do have to sacrifice everything, like, or everything that you need to. Like I said in that thread, like I completely, and I mean completely, ditched my social life from 18 through to 23. Being perfectly honest, I didn't have a social life until I was at 23 because I didn't have time for it. I had friends like saying, like, do you want to come out? Do you want to go for drinks? Do you want to go see a movie? Nope. Busy working on videos. Got to get a video out. Need to make a thumbnail. Need to write this video. Need to record a video. And like, there are every now and then there's a little tiny bit of me that not regrets, but kind of misses what I missed out on at that time. However, long term, I don't regret a single second of doing that. It is what it is. Like, this is one of the most competitive industries on the planet. Like, you are vying for a place in the algorithm against millions upon millions of other people that want to do what you do. Millions of people are going to making content that is like yours, maybe not as good in quality or in like content or anything, but like, there are millions of people vying for your spot in the algorithm. You've got to earn it. You have to work as much as you need to earn it. And that's why, like, people like Nade, people like Hex have always been like my biggest. Those two in particular have pretty much forever, since I started doing YouTube, like properly at least, been my two biggest inspirations for this platform, because like the work ethic they put in to build Optic, to build 100 Thieves, and to get to where they are is like something that I admire, and it's something that like I try and not replicate, but I try and follow in the footsteps of in a way, because I don't know, it's a lot of work, but it also makes you feel like so happy when you put loads of work into a video or something and it does really well. Like, that feeling is unparalleled, legit 100%. Unparalleled.
Yep.
And it's a feeling that I think most content creators should try and chase. So when I see when you see someone who's like been given such a ridiculously good opportunity, just like not really do much with it,
yep.
or make excuses as to why they can't do something, it's like, come on, like. Yeah. You were given a golden opportunity and you just didn't do anything.
I think
that's the last thing. Like, some people like aren't cut out for it, like, because it is, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, because it isn't, like, the amount of work you have to do for a lot of things is genuinely unhealthy. Like, in December when Infinite's campaign came out, I worked like stupid hours. I genuinely remember myself.
I remember, 100%.
But it was worth it. Like, I don't regret a second of that, because it was worth it. I enjoyed what I was doing. The videos did well. People enjoyed them. They helped people, so it was worth it. But it's just one of those things where you've got to realize that if you really are dedicated to it, if you really want it, you've got to be willing to sacrifice shit to get there. Because, I mean, obviously you get the odd example of people that like randomly blow up and their content's really easy to make, and that's fine. But like, you look at another great example is Mr. Beast. He is the single biggest grinder I've ever seen on any content platform ever. The amount of work that he did, even before he made his channel, the amount of work that he did, like researching the algorithm, learning it, trying out strategies, it's utterly insane. But like, that's why he's, I would genuinely say, the most influential person possibly on the internet, definitely on YouTube, at the very least on YouTube, if not on the internet.
100%. That kind of answers one of my next questions too, because I was going to ask who inspires you the most, if anyone. So we've got that. We got that covered. But no, yeah, 100%. And just to touch really quickly on the whole 100 Thieves situation, I feel like it's kind of this weird, like, they're both in the wrong. It feels like two people that have just broken up, but the entire relationship they had, they never communicated their issues with one another until the breakup, and they decided to then voice their frustrations, which is not how you have a relationship at all. You've got issues, talk them out with your partner, whether you're dating them or whether you're friends with them. If there's something your friend does or says, let them know that you don't like. But that's what it's feeling like. And so it's just this weird, like, back and forth of like, what is right, what is not right, like it's weird. But no, 100%. That's always a very hard subject to touch on, of how much of yourself should you give to this career, to this life path? Because there are people that are like, well, you gotta take time for yourself. You have to think about your mental health. Like, your mental health is above all, and you should be maybe, sacrifice some things. And they're always kind of maybe not really like tiptoeing around their answer, but they're like, it's hard because there's no real concrete answer. There's no real like concrete anything, because there are people that have been able to successfully do something and make sure, like, maintain everything in their life, their social life, their mental health, their physical well-being, etc. And there are some people that, again, that have given up everything, that have said no to every social situation, that have stopped going to the gym. Maybe, again, they've made themselves physically ill with the amount of like time that they've put into something. So if you could go back, or just like, whether it's to yourself when you first started out or to anyone around that age, what would you tell them if you could?
Just to know that this is like not as easy as people make it out to seem.
It's not. It really isn't.
It's
so
really
difficult.
Isn't.
So difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely not as easy, because I think even to a degree, I thought like it would be easier than it is. But you just that's almost
looks
the big
easy
thing.
on the surface.
When people are like uploading videos like, oh, I'm enjoying playing this game for 25 minutes. It's like, oh, let's just play the game for like 25 minutes.
Yep.
No, they play the game for 3 hours long, and then they spend ages cutting it down and then editing it, and then finding perfect parts to put like little clips into it and stuff like that, and make it flow nicely, and then cut out bits that are redundant. And it's not as easy as it looks, but it's worth it. It's worth. At least for me, it's all subjective. It's totally subjective.
100%.
But for me personally, it's worth it for me, 100%.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of difficult because some people, they look at that and they're like, I want that. But I feel like what's really good about people that started making videos, because it was before we really knew what could come of it and what was potentially out there. We just made them because we were like, this is fun. I enjoy doing this. Sometimes the editing process is pretty strenuous. It's not the most enjoyable, dopamine rewarding thing ever. But the end result is the satisfaction. And it's like, that's what made you happy. And just knowing what it felt like to do that before there were monetary incentives and everything that came with that, it was enjoyable. But unfortunately now, to a degree, it's unfortunately, I feel like some people are getting the idea in their head that they want to do it, but they themselves don't really even know why. But it's probably because of the things that could come of it. And it's unfortunate because there are some YouTubers that glamorize it all and say, well, if you do this, you're going to get all this money and all these materialistic things, and it's going to be great. But they don't really know why they're going into it for themselves. They don't really know if they want to do it themselves. But yeah,
if you go into YouTube purely for the money and no other reason, you're not going to get anywhere.
You're going to hate it real fucking quickly.
You're going to hate it.
You're going to be very unhappy.
100%. That's another piece of advice that I would give to anyone as well. Like, never do this for the money. Like, you can have the money in mind and be like, oh, it'd be cool to make money off this at some point and make like a good living off it. That's perfectly fine to have that in mind.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
never have that as like the number one motivator for it. Like, you need to enjoy what you're doing. Like, I'm lucky in a sense because I actually love editing.
There you go.
One of the few that generally does. Like, I will sit here, like I said, for like 15 hours. Editing on that monitor, RuneScape that monitor, constantly just like, I'm always busy. Like, I'm constantly doing something, like just getting stuff done. I really enjoy it, but I know that most people don't, which is why some people just get
J
editors.
cut was so well done. Great job, me. For real.
I find it so satisfying personally and rewarding, but
that's good.
Yeah, it's totally subjective, but I would say definitely also don't use money as a motivator for it. Like, you can have it in your mind, you can think about it, you can think about how cool it is.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, you're putting in hours, you deserve to make something from it, 100%.
Absolutely.
But you need to actually enjoy the content that you're making and the process of making it as well.
Because the process is what's going to be in front of you majority of the time, reaping the rewards is great, and it's good to be like, hey, I got to quit my day job to do this. But I've seen people who have very quickly blown up, like on Rocket League or something like that, TikTok, and very quickly they, got partner and they were like, oh, I can quit my day job, I'm going full time, and almost immediately gone, because they are then like, I don't know what to do now, and they're like, I don't think I actually wanted this, and then they just disappear, and then I see posts from them, you know, every few months, maybe you know, once a year, and I'm like, I hope they're doing well, but it's unfortunate to see, yeah, because I don't feel like they really knew what they were getting themselves into. Yeah, because sometimes it can be a very lonely job, even if it is technically socializing with hundreds, if not thousands or tens of thousands of people. Unfortunately, sometimes, or a lot of the time, it can be a very lonely job.
That's career. Another thing as well. That's a really, really good point. It is, honestly. Like, if you're making content your own, like, I don't mind it. In fact, I love it, honestly. I like being on my own in my own space where I can just like listen to music, edit, and stuff like that. But it is a very insular job. And obviously, it does depend on what kind of content you're making. Like, 100%. For example, Mr. Beast maybe not so much, because obviously he's doing it with the whole team and stuff like that, and he's got like managers and stuff. But like I just sit here, record videos, edit videos, like here on my own, and it is insular. But that's why the last few years, like, I've valued going out so much more, because I realized once I'd like hit a point where I was satisfied with like my channel and everything, where at like a point where I'd hit like a certain level of growth, and I was like, right, I'm really satisfied now. Then I hit the point where I started like craving social interaction. Yep. Because I felt like I kind of got to where I felt I needed to get to hit that point. It was almost the point where like I'd hit a point where I could almost start to allow myself to do other things. But yeah, it sounds quite sad when you say it's lonely, and I don't mean it in that way. Yeah. It depends. It depends what you like. I'm not like introverted or extroverted. I'm like in the middle. Like I like social stuff, but I also like being on my own. So it's kind of, I love it. It's perfect for me in that sense.
That's good. Yeah, it is kind of disparaging. Maybe that's the word. I don't fucking know, to kind of label it as a lonely career. But sometimes, people do get into it without realizing that does come with it. And not only that, like sometimes, especially with streaming, the amount of social interaction you'll go through, the amount of people you'll connect with, and you feel like you have that connection with them, and then out of nowhere they could just never show up again, and they're just gone, and you're like, yep, holy shit. It's like not like speed dating, but it's like speed friending in a way, where you feel like you kind of made friends with them in a bit, and then they're just gone, and you're like, I hope they're okay. And it's a weird, it's going to be interesting to see the psychological effects of this sort of industry on people, you know, years and years from now, when we can properly like analyze it. But
I mean, we're already seeing it a little bit, but I have a feeling that a lot
relationships and stuff. Yeah,
that stuff is rough. I think there's going to be, I mean, it's already starting to happen a little bit, but I think that there's going to be a major mental health crisis within people that are actually like doing this all the time because of how insular it is, and because of just how like completely different it is. The fact that all like water cooler talk that you get like a regular job is done completely over the internet, mostly not even face to face, over voice or even over text, right? Which is so different to being actually talking to somebody next to them in real life. Like the difference that like the way that your brain like receives all that information is so different. So I do think that, I mean, burnout as well. I think the main thing is burnout. A lot of creators just work themselves into burnout.
So many creators have had burnout. Absolutely.
I had it so bad in January this year. After December, when I grinded out so much content, every time I tried to sit down and make a video, I'd sit here, I'd open up Microsoft Word, get ready to write a video, I'd open up Infinite, try and record a video, and I'd just sit there like this. Unable to like put a word on the page, or like I feel like we all kind of got it to a degree out, because like we grinded so hard when Infinite came out. It was bound to happen to us. Like it was gonna happen. But like we're lucky we managed to kind of like get through it on the other side. Whereas a lot of people burn out to the point where they just can't do it anymore, which is that takes a toll. Because
it's if you look at it kind of like a machine, you know, a machine can do something if it's churning out a product or something, you know, constantly, but you have to still maintain a machine. Factories will, you know, those machines will break down at some point and they will stop working, or something can go wrong and they need to maintain them. But if it's constantly churning something out and you're not maintaining it, eventually it's going to break down. And sometimes it might break down so much to the point where it's unrecoverable. You feel like there's no possible, it's like, you know, driving a car, you have to regularly maintain it, you gotta get an oil change, etc. But there are people I know, myself included, in past cars, they just put it off. They put it off. They're like, I don't have money to, I don't have time to, like, and then eventually something breaks where it's so expensive to replace. It's like, there's no point, ditch it, let's get a new car. But you can't really do that for the most part. But yeah, absolutely. You have to, in that way, you have to take time for yourself to really think about creative ideas and what to do next, and give yourself a break. You got to find a balance. Not only that, I feel like if you can find a support system, you know, have people around you that can not only like support you very well, but if possible, that know what you go through because they do it themselves. And so they completely understand when you talk to them about how you're feeling and like, you know, hey, like I got nothing. I got nothing right there. And they're like, I get it. I've been there. You know, like let's go do something that might help you get it back. You know, let's go take a walk. Let's go play something, you know, and not worry about making content and not worry about streaming it. Is that, you know,
that's the thing. Yeah, you have to kind of, for a little bit, I found the best way to do it was kind of like just divorce myself from like content creation for like 2 weeks. Yeah. And that helps so much.
Absolutely.
Like I made a point where I was like, right, I'm not gonna, if I sit here for 2 weeks and try and make a video, either A, the video makes gonna be shit and it's not even worth uploading, or B, I'm gonna sit here for 2 weeks, try and make something, not make anything, and be straight back to square one with no progress made. So I was like, right, you know what? 2 weeks off, I'm just gonna like go to the gym every day, gonna go out, gonna go order like 3 briskets and smoke like 25 pounds of meat, play RuneScape for 19 hours a day, like just anything that's like not work related. And that helps so much because one of the issues that I have is like I feel like I can never detach from work. Like I'm always thinking of like a video idea or something to like write down for a video, like a point for a video or like a title or a thumbnail idea or something like that. And even when I'm not like, I'll be playing like, I don't know, I'm playing COD 4 recently with some friends again. And I'll be like in the middle of a game of COD 4, like a triple with the M40. Never done that, but I wish I had done that. And whilst I'm doing that, I'll be like, oh, video idea, write it down, and then get the plan done. And it's like if you fully burn out, you can't do that because it's just gonna like prolong the effect of it.
Yeah, it's like a battery in a way, you know, like if you're constantly charging it, you know, but you're not like outputting it to a degree, you know, you're gonna be getting all these ideas and you're gonna feel like you're gonna be on edge because you're like, I gotta get it out. I gotta get this creativity out and do something with it. But again, you know, if it's constantly in use, you're not giving time for that battery to charge, you're not gonna have anything left. You're not gonna be able to use it. But yeah. All right. God, great points all around. God damn. All right. So, next question, favorite non-Halo video game and why? I know you've got a good amount in there. In your YouTube archive, I saw a lot in there and I was like, dang, okay. But even like RuneScape, it sounds like you play a lot of RuneScape and have played a lot. I don't know jack shit about RuneScape. I don't know a single thing about it when it comes to those games like Dota 2, RuneScape. I hear a lot. World of Warcraft. I'm like, it's just they're all top down. I think I don't know. But yeah.
So
what you got?
I can't pick one. I've forever had 2 tied games for my second beside Halo. Okay. So first one is Metal Gear Solid 2. Oh. I'm a huge Metal Gear fan. I've been playing. In fact, I played Metal Gear Solid 2 as my first Metal Gear, and I played it like it was only like a year or so after I first played Halo. So like I've been playing Metal Gear for almost as long as I've been playing Halo. Right. Not as much as Halo, but for that long period. And it's one of those games that when I was growing up, I played it for the first time when I was like 6 years old. I had no idea what was going on in the story because Kojima's writing is genius, but it's very in-depth, right?
Absolutely.
I had no idea, but I love the art style, the sound design, I love the gameplay, and I played MGS2 like quite a few times throughout my life. But then it was maybe like 8 years ago when I replayed it again for the first time in a few years, and all of a sudden the story and the depth of the writing started to click. Yep. I was like, hang on. And then the more that I've replayed it over the years since then, the more the story has started to click again and again and again. And the shit that game predicted when it was written in like 1999, 2000 is utterly insane. Like, Kojima had a time machine or something. He had to have done.
Genius,
like,
man.
The way that he predicted, like, how the internet is going to work in terms of like the flow of information, how people are going to interact with each other on the internet, and how detrimental that's going to be was utterly insane. That game is one of the it's probably the most intelligent video game writing that I honestly think will ever exist. It is a work of art. Like, if I had to pick one game that I would put forward as like the perfect example of games as an art form, it would honestly be MGS2. Wow. That game, if anyone out there hasn't played Metal Gear Solid 2, just please. There's a rumor going around right now that Konami are going to be announcing a remake or remaster of it, and I'm begging that's gotta be. God damn. I hope so. But then on the flip side, my tied second game with that is Resident Evil 4. So again, I've been a massive fan of Resident Evil for a long time.
I think there's a new Netflix show that just came out about it. For one season, new Resident Evil Netflix show.
No, I didn't hear about that. I didn't hear about it.
It may have been canceled. I don't remember. It's Netflix shows are always coming and going. Sometimes they always get rid of the greatest ones. I haven't heard of that. Okay, maybe I'm just making it up. I don't know. Maybe I saw something else.
Oh my god, I wish you were making it up. Good lord. Good lord. Oh no. Anyway, let's
continue.
Swiftly move on from that. Resident Evil 4 is it's a weird game because for all intents and purposes, it shouldn't be a good game. Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 were very horror focused, very focused on building like a real strict horror atmosphere, limiting the way the player plays and moves around the world, limiting how many weapons they can have and stuff like that, really focusing on like the management of like a few inventory slots, real like tension builders. And Resident Evil 4 has a lot of that, but the atmosphere, it tries to retain horror, but it also goes in this real action heavy kind of direction. Okay. And almost at some points that's slapstick, which Resident Evil kind of had before, but not as much as RE4. But something about the way all the like facets of that game come together are perfect. Like I have a massive fascination with Gothic architecture, and that game is like the main reason why, because it's set in rural Spain in this like real Gothic castle. Okay, and the art style is just like so good, and it's weird. I really struggle to talk about why it's such a good game, because when you talk about features about it individually, they don't sound good. Like the writing's really comical and at times gimmicky, which is just not Resident Evil at all. The gameplay has you like roundhouse kicking, suplexing people, which is just like, again, insane, like just absurd. And then like the inventory management is still there, but it's not as much as classic Resident Evil games. It's a weird game, but it's so good. The way that it all comes together, it all like kind of melts together, is just so damn good. Like the atmosphere is fantastic. The gameplay is some of the most satisfying gameplay I think I've ever experienced in a game. The music's really good. Has like some of the comfiest sounding music ever, honestly. The story's, I can't say the story's good because it's not, but it's enjoyable. Like it's definitely not a bad story, but it's like it's not MGS2 or Halo 2 by any means. But it's just the way it all comes together. It's just so damn good. Yeah. So good.
Okay. So I guess if you could put it in this sort of example, I mean, you run a second YouTube channel called Flooded with Flavor, about you cooking, making food, smoking brisket. I don't know the terminologies. I'm not into the whole barbecue world, but I've seen some of the things you talk people on Twitter, and I'm just like, this seems pretty good. But in the same vein, it's basically kind of like maybe like a food dish where a lot of the ingredients maybe don't make sense, or they're not really great on their own, but when you bring it all together, it's like, or maybe like a seasoning, or like a, I don't know, some sort of, I don't know.
Americans in the chat are going to be cringing at this, but like beans on toast.
Yeah. Apparently that. Not amazing on their own, but I guess really good when you bring them together. Fair enough, all right. But I guess that's in the same vein. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
There you go. Shit, okay, so Resident Evil 4 and Metal Gear Solid 2. That'd be actually incredible if they did make a remake, because I mean, Halo fans had to wait only 10 years for the first two games to be remade. And that's not a lot of time when compared to the fact that, what is it, 23 years after that?
Yeah, MGS2 was, I always forget if MGS2 was 2001 or 2000. I think it was 2000, I think. So 22 years ago.
Yeah.
Either 21 or 22 years ago.
Solid 2 release. November 13th, 2001.
2001. Okay, so 21 years old.
Damn.
Yeah.
Coming up on that. That's a long time.
Such a good, I honestly, that's the best writing that I've ever seen for anything outside of, I'm trying to think. It rivals Blade Runner 2049 and Lord of the Rings. Wow. For me, which I think are like two of the best examples of writing. But like, it's, and again, like, as much, Halo 2 is my favorite video game of all time, easily. The story for that, like, is absolute masterpiece. And although I do prefer the story of Halo 2, I honestly would say that MGS2's writing is is better.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
And Halo 2 is immaculate, but MGS2 is like again. I won't spoil it for anybody who's watching, but there's this one twist in MGS2 that I've experienced now 20 times maybe, and still like I get shivers when it happens.
Yep.
Because the way it's delivered is just, anyone who's watching knows exactly what I'm talking about. If I say Scissors 61, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It is just like, you're just like, what? Like,
that's insane.
What? Like, that didn't happen. But it's, oh man, I could sing the praises of MGS2 until I die.
Yep.
Until I die. I will be on my deathbed and I will still be talking about how good the writing of MGS2 was.
Damn, that's what's great about eventually growing up to be an adult, is looking back on these things that you enjoyed as a kid and then realizing how good they truly were, and like finally being able to understand things that you couldn't as a child. That's when you know something was, a piece of art was made well. Even like music and lyrics, you know, sometimes you listen to it as a kid or a teenager, you don't really understand what they're talking about or what they mean, and then you grow up and it just kind of clicks and you're like, oh my god, like that's so clever, that's so well done. In music, movies, TV shows, games, all the time. That's what makes something age well.
I've actually thought about quite a lot recently, with like a lot of My Chemical Romance stuff, because I used to listen to them back in like early 2000s a lot. But I was young, so I was like, I don't know what the lyrics are. I just like, I know the lyrics like on the surface level, don't know anything about them. But then like as I've gotten older and I've like researched the story and like, I guess in a way the lore behind the albums. And, like,
some artists do it that well.
Well, that's the thing, like, with MCR, the way that they do their albums is, like, each album is its own contained narrative, but there's a little bit of bleed through in between them. So, like, for example, my favourite album of all time, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, is about this guy who, I believe his girlfriend dies. So, Satan then comes up and says to him, like, right, if you, like, kill 1,000 people, then I'll bring her back to life. And the whole album is about him doing this and, like, his journey of doing that. And it's really, it gives, like, it makes it more than just a set of songs and like an actual story, like a cohesive story. That all flows together. It's cool.
Yeah, if it's hard enough to make it a good album, you know, and make good music that people can really enjoy, and even harder to somehow string a cohesive story and to connect everything together. Kendrick Lamar did that with Good Kid, Mad City, and like the older I got, the more I listened to that, and more like, again, the more background research I did of like what are all these audio recordings? What do they mean? How do they all string together? It's fun because it makes you appreciate it even more and kind of delves you into it more, instead of just every song being its own contained box and all the boxes are together. You're just kind of jumping from one to the next. It is a little bit jarring, but it just makes you appreciate people even more.
It reminds me of games in a way, actually, because Black Parade, the album, another MCR album, believe it or not. The one with like Welcome to Black Parade on, like the real big song. The actual like narrative of that story and the sequencing for the songs is still like heavily debated nowadays. Like people still aren't sure what the actual like
with actual meaning is.
People are still like unsure as like the actual like order of the songs as well. So like, some people think that like the way the songs are ordered in the album is the story, but then there was a really cool video that came out a few years ago. I can't remember who made it, but he reordered the songs in a completely different way, and it tells a completely different story that makes sense. And it's like, when you can put that much depth into something that doesn't even have a video with it, it's just like music, just audio. It's like, I don't know. That is incredible. Massive tangent, but that's very
incredible.
Cool.
Especially sometimes it's even more exciting and more fun when like it's not super clear and it's not easy to understand, and you're just kind of left with the question mark of like, it's open to interpretation, you know. We're always trying to categorize things. We're always trying to like make sense of things, you know. Even when an artist like makes a splatter painting and they're like, I see where you were really at mentally when you made this. But really, it's like, I just threw some fucking paint onto the canvas. All right, stop trying to overanalyze it, Becky. It's not that deep, but sometimes it is that deep, and sometimes they do it so fucking well that like they'll never know, and that's okay. We don't always have to know. We can just let it. We can make our own interpretation and be satisfied with it and move on.
Yep. Exactly. That's the best thing about it. That's kind of interesting you say that, actually, because that's one of my other favorite games of all time, or favorite like parts of a game, is Call of Duty Zombies. And that was the whole genesis of that mode story in only really World at War on Black Ops 1. But the whole point was the story is so ambiguous that you have got to go out there and like make it yourself essentially, and like put the pieces together yourself. And we're never going to give you a resolute answer. We're never going to say
that's awesome.
It is X, Y, or Z. We're never going to say that. We're going to let you decide, but we're going to give you clues to like push you in the right direction. That there is a correct answer, but we're never going to tell you. And that's why I loved it so much, because like you're saying, that is precisely what they do with the story. And it just like, you feel, I made a zombies video a few minutes ago that actually did really well, where I talked about this. That is honestly slight tangent, but that is the proudest thing I've ever been for a video. That video, I was so proud of it.
That's good. That's good.
And like, yeah, so back in the day, it's like there was no sense of direction with the story because the devs put all the clues there, but they never said anything was like correct or incorrect. It was just based on community speculation, which makes you feel so much more like in tune with that universe when you are having to piece everything together. There's not like a HUD element or something on a screen or a cutscene or a character like just splurging everything to you. When you are the one doing that's why I think games as a medium are like unparalleled by anything else, because there's no, beside kind of with music you can do, but mostly with games are the only real medium where you can actually explore a world, physically explore a world, find things yourself and piece them together. It's very, very cool like aspect of games as a medium that I don't think anything else can really rival.
Some movies and TV shows can kind of do that ish, you know, like sometimes, you know, writers can think like seasons ahead, you know, and plan for those sort of things, you know, and like by season 4, when you finally figure something out, you go back to season 1 and you're like, oh my God, like there it is. Like there's something that we won't know about 3 seasons later. But yeah, and not only that, like it's so wonderful to hear that, because I was never really into zombies. I think the most I ever was when I played with my friends for like a little bit, I think in either Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 4, which probably isn't a great introduction to it. I played a little bit of Black Ops 2 Zombies.
BO3 was spectacular for the most part. BO4,
I can't remember which one it was, but all I know right now is that it's not great in its current state, in its current game, and people are not super happy. But I know how much it meant to people back then and how many memories they had. And that's even more incredible. Exactly, like when you have these clues, and then you have the online, the community aspect of all coming together to try to figure that out. It reminds me of like the Halo 5 marketing, when they were dropping the pictures of the little cubes and squares of the cover art. Yeah, absolutely. And everyone was like finding each one, and we were all piecing it together. That was probably the most included, I think, and most like excited and happy everyone was as a Halo community, and God knows how long that I got to experience. That was incredible. So well done. But again, yeah, you do that in a video game, and who knows what will happen. That's incredible.
Yeah, I remember that actually. That combined with Hunt the Truth at the time was so good.
Oh my God.
So good.
God damn. What a time that was. But I know. We won't talk about the result of all of that, but what happened, what they did create leading up to it was damn good.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And just even like including people in the whole Hunt the Truth, like when they were like, we want your voice lines. I remember I recorded one, but I never sent it. I think I like put it off, and I kept putting it off, and then the date came and it was cut off, and I was like, damn. And I thought it was pretty good. I still think it was pretty good. But when I finally like heard it, I was like, man, fuck, I should have done it. You know, you're just kicking, you punch in the air, and you're like, fuck, why?
If only.
Oh yeah.
I sent mine off, and from what I remember, I'm pretty sure mine got in. You could only just hear it, because from what I remember, the bit where they played them, it was like there were like 20 voices.
Yeah, they're all just going at the same time, basically. Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. That was so cool, man. That era was so.
That's how you bring your community together, and you kind of grab them on, like we're on this journey together to get to this point. That's great. That's how you include people. Absolutely incredible. God damn, what a time. All right. This question was coming. Every single person has put their thoughts out there, has spoken about it. I try not to talk about it on stream anymore, because everyone has said what needs to be said. We've all said what needs to happen, what's going wrong, what we're happy about, what we're not happy about. And unfortunately, some people are just still in the cycle. of it all. But before we even get into it, there was one of your most, I think it was honestly today's video, where towards the end of it, the one that you released, you said like, hey, this is how I feel, this is what I'm doing, etc. I'm happy, but also not happy at the same time. I'm not doing this every single day. I'm not outputting negative video after negative video every single day, which some people do. And you made a good point of like, if you're not happy with it and you're just waiting for something to fuck up so you can talk about it or laugh at it, why are you here? Why are you making content on it? If something that good happens, you never recognize, you never talk about. If it's all just pure negativity that you are always focused, it is okay to be in the middle and to celebrate what they do right, but also be critical of what they do wrong. But if you're just focusing on how they fuck up and how they slip and trip, what are you bringing to the table? What are you adding? Nothing.
Yeah, it's not constructive. Like, it doesn't get anybody anywhere.
Absolutely.
Like that's why if you're both critical when you need to be and positive when you need to be, your opinions are a lot more valued and your thoughts are a lot more valued because you can see both sides. Like you're willing to say like, yeah, you kind of fucked up with that, or yeah, you did really well with that. Like when you can see both sides and you can appreciate both sides, like I just feel like your thoughts are valued more because they realize that you're being genuine.
Will know.
You're not just
people can easily, they can see it, they can hear it. They know when you don't really care what people think either way, and you can again be critical, but you can also celebrate their wins and what they did right, even if sometimes it comes a little later than we expected. Absolutely, that's more valued. It's difficult to really kind of listen to someone that is all the way one way, but also even harder when someone's all the way the other way.
It just being like on one side or the other, only on one side or the other, just doesn't get anybody anywhere. Like just constantly like criticizing and complaining about the game is like, okay, cool, you're never going to see anything positive. Constantly being like overly positive about the game, like, cool, you're never going to see any of the issues with it. Like, there's no point in being on either side. You need to have a measured like view on these things and realize when something goes right with the game, when something goes wrong with the game, how to fix that, be constructive with it. Like, at the end of the day, we all want the game to succeed. Like, there's no one sat there like, yeah, I want this game to fail. Like, we want it to do well, we want it to succeed. But just being purely on one side or the other is not going to achieve that ever.
100%. So with that, you don't have to go super in depth if you don't want to, but thoughts on Halo Infinite and the future of the franchise, or even what we heard today, because what we heard today for the most part is, the most clearest vision of what's coming in the future. But I guess just thoughts on it all. How you feel?
I think it's absolutely ludicrous that the franchise is still in this state. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But on the same token, I think that today's update, as much as it sucks right now, is necessary. It's unfortunate that the franchise is at a point where we're almost a year into a live service game, and I'm yet to see any of that. And we're having to have 10-month-long seasons. Seasons, bear in mind, that were already absurdly lackluster as is, are now 10 months long. But like they were saying in the thing, and I do genuinely believe them when they say this, like, they could have released season 3 in November, but if they did, then it would have damaged all the future seasons.
Fucked it
I do believe that.
100%.
Like, I think you're being naive if you can't see that there's a very clear, like, issue with pushing content out for this game. There is very obviously an issue with that, and when you start rushing that, it just exacerbates the issues. Like, I even made a video like 2 months ago now saying, like, I think the best thing for this game would be for them just to stop, take stock, push everything back, have like 6 or so months of very little updates, pretty much, like, pretty much, and then come back with a big update, lots of content, polished content, more so than lots of content, which again is, we'll have to wait and see because we've not had any of that yet. But this is pretty much what I said they should do in that video. So I'm not like mad at it or anything. I'm just disappointed that the franchise has to do this again and again and again and again and again, again and again and again, and again. How many times are we gonna have the game and a game in this franchise be in this state, man? Like, it's been so long now. It's been 10 years at this point. Like, I love Halo 4 story. I genuinely do. And to be honest, the campaign as well. I didn't really used to like playing it, but it's grown me over the years. But like, Halo 4 multiplayer, flopped hard. Halo 5 obviously has its niche, like has its own following. But it didn't put Halo back on the map. Like, it didn't do like a Halo 3 or Halo 2 kind of resurgence at all. Definitely has its following, fair enough, but like, that is what it is. MCC at launch, don't need to say anything else about that. Infinite at launch, don't need to say anything else about that. It's just, I don't know. I don't understand why the flagship franchise for Xbox has been in this state now for so long. I could honestly understand, like, 1, 2 games, like, yeah, fine, fair enough, that's acceptable. Franchises go through like down periods, that's perfectly fine. But when it's half the franchise's existence, it's like, right, okay, what's going on here? Like, why is it like this?
And something good to point out. I mean, like, it's weird. It seems kind of foreign that Microsoft would do something like that, because again, like when the Xbox One was revealed in 2013, people shit all over that thing for a long time. Even if like there were like certain features or like changes that like the mass community didn't understand what they actually did, they still got rid of them. And they still rolled it back. And for a long time, that console launched, and they said, no, we're not gonna do a $400 version without the Kinect. You have to buy it with the Kinect. And everyone's like, why? That's so fucking dumb. Because like, here's the PlayStation 4 for $400. Why? No one needs that. And then pretty fairly quickly after that launch, they were, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but the head of Xbox was no longer the head of Xbox. Phil Spencer was moved up. And ever since then, they've been getting W after W after W of just like, immediately they were like, okay, $400 Xbox One without the Kinect, we gotta catch the fuck up. Like we gotta right our wrongs immediately. And I was a part of that for a long time, of watching them go, okay, now here's a smaller Xbox One, power source is built in. You know, now you don't gotta worry about the brick. It's smaller, boom, plugs right in, easy peasy, pop it in your backpack. It's great. And then they just kept going. Like, here's now the most powerful console. And here's backwards compatibility. Here's backwards compatibility with the original Xbox games. And it was just like, holy shit, they're turning this shit around. But now with 343, it's unfortunately, it's like, okay, we get it. We fucked up. We'll try not to in the future. But then it happens again. Then it happens again. And you talked about it in the video again about like, they're always saying we want to try to be more transparent, but it doesn't last, or it just doesn't happen.
How many years have we been hearing that for now?
Exactly.
I want to believe you, but like when you've been saying it for years upon years and you're still saying it, like, no.
It's like a relationship partner saying, I'll change. Yeah. And it's like, when are you going to change? It's like
you've been saying that for 4 years now.
Yeah.
Yep. It's, I don't know, man. Like, I think this is a necessary, like, L for a long-term, like, I hope to help it long-term.
Yeah, gonna hope.
I hope.
Can hope. But because I get it, you need to have a lot of content ahead. You got to be ahead of a live service game. Apex does that well. I was surprised Apex does that well. In the first, I think like 4th, 5th, 6th season, I remember someone told me like, yeah, they've already got shit planned like 4 seasons ahead. And I'm like, holy shit. Like they know what they're doing a year ahead of time. And to just have that planned out is perfect. And it's very obvious they don't have that for the most part planned out at 343, because obviously the game needed a delay. And we're also sitting here saying, what the fuck was this game in 2020? What were you gonna launch if you weren't let the delay?
I would absolutely love to have seen the full package they were planning on releasing in 2020.
Exactly.
Could you imagine if they'd actually launched that with the Xbox Series X, right? Yeah, Series X, as like a launch site with it. I think it probably helped sales of that console for them delaying it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Could you imagine if that had been like the launch title and it was 2020 Halo Infinite?
Because I'm assuming it's, I don't know game development, but I can imagine it's probably a little bit more difficult to try to fix the product that's already out there, you know?
Yeah,
and so like it's already out there and you're trying to fix shit and you're trying to add things, which is versus like just having it with you and making as many changes and overhauls as you possibly need to without affecting what's going on there. Yeah, you know, if you need to break something for a month, you can do that. Whereas now, you know, sometimes some things can't be broken for a month, but people aren't going to be happy about it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping, I mean, we're all hoping this is the last final hump to get over, and then we'll be in a consistent cadence of catering.
I hope so. But I mean, I don't blame anybody who is completely doubtful of that, to be honest with you, because
they've shown us why we can be.
Exactly. Yeah. Like they yet to show us why we should like believe their like promises with the game. Like I get people that do want to believe it, and I get people that don't want to believe it. I understand both sides, to be honest with you, but I just at what point are we gonna get like a victory for the franchise without any caveat, without any like this is coming, but we're losing all these things as well. Yep. This is coming, but this isn't gonna be there. Like at what point are we just gonna get like a flat like victory for the game that just like, right, this is coming and there's no caveat, this is like, just complete positive.
Yeah, the good example was the update where they removed the trick jumps. You know, it was like why
the most pointless update I think I've ever seen. And then also the campaign stuff as well, like all the campaign like tricks and stuff, they removed them, and I assumed like, oh yeah, it's just co-op's coming out in like 2 months. That was like, how long ago did that update come out now? Was it like 4 months ago?
2 months, 3. I don't even know at this point. But the update that removed the skill jumps, I don't even remember what came with that update. I don't remember the positives of the update, because everything that they removed and took away is all anyone could focus on for good reason. You know, it's like, why? Who wanted this? Who approved this? Were you? What was the thought process behind this? Like, you have a pro team. Did you not consult them? You have a partnered creator who creates content around this. Did you not think about talking to him? It was just the biggest. I don't even know.
It's bewildering. Decisions like that is just. It really does just confuse the mind, because there's no logic to it. I don't understand, man. It's weird. One thing I'm hoping is that when or if Xbox do acquire Activision Blizzard, I think it'd be cool to see like Infinity Ward do a take on Halo.
I was gonna mention that. Yeah, I was like, yeah. What if like they're trying to like, you know, speed that process up so they can finally be like, all right, we now have a fuck ton of studios, all who are working on like fucking CODs every goddamn year. They're gonna pause on the CODs a little bit, which they've already said they're gonna do.
Yeah, they've done that already.
Hey, your last COD wasn't great. The one before that also wasn't great. How about you just go support our buds over there right now, because it's not going too well.
Honestly, I could see him doing that with Sledgehammer, to be honest with you. I could see Sledgehammer become like a sports studio, because I think I'm pretty sure they kind of became, before Vanguard, I'm pretty sure that's what they were for like a little while. They were like a sort of like Call of Duty sports studio. Yeah. But yeah, I would like to see like, because I've wanted this for ages. Like, I'm not saying take it away from FIFA 3 or anything, but I'm saying like I want other developers' takes on Halo. Yeah. Because I want to see like more takes on the universe. There's so many other things they can do with besides just a mainline first-person shooter game, like more Halo Wars, but like even beyond just Halo Wars, like imagine like an Infinity Ward style, like super tactical ODST shooter on the Infinity Ward engine.
Exactly. We're always talking about that. We're like, wow, where's the flood horror game? Where's the tactical, like a Metal Gear Solid style Halo game or some shit? You know, there's so many stories to tell.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd love to see that, like a Halo RPG by one of the Bethesda teams, a tactical shooter by Infinity Ward, a Horde mode developed by like Treyarch Zombie Team or something like that. Like, there's so many things you could do with that would allow 343, or give 343 more time, because they wouldn't be so pressured to release content for the only Halo game that is present. They'd have like this game that's also out there, and then this game also. Like, there's other things for Halo fans to do. And I think that's honestly the future for Halo, if you ask me. I think having it be not a game that is run by one studio, but a game that is managed by multiple different studios. 343, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Bethesda, etc., etc. I'd love to see an id Software take on it. That'd be sick. Like let other game studios have a go at Halo, do like their own interpretation of it, and let that take some of the weight off 343's shoulders, so they're not as pressured to like push out content like every few weeks for Infinite, or get this out by then, or this out, or this out, or a game out for like this date. Like, ease the pressure off a little bit. Clearly, Microsoft still value Halo really highly, because you always get people saying like, oh, what if they shelve Halo? Never gonna happen. I'm sorry, that one. Halo is to Xbox what Mario is to Nintendo, to what God of War is to Sony. Never getting shelved. Not gonna happen. I can't see a future where that happens. But like that's not gonna happen. So like, just almost like franchise it in a way. Just let other studios have a go at it. Add like their own like interpretation to the universe, their own take on it. Like, I mean, there's so many like you said. There's Flood horror game. Tactical shooter. Just there's so many alternatives they could do that would supplement like a regular Halo game. And now that Xbox are on like a massive like buyout spree, it's the perfect time to do that.
Perfect
like,
time.
Take the weight off people's shoulders.
Oh yeah.
And just like get some more Halo flavor out there.
Help get some more wind in their lungs, some more oxygen. Yeah, I mean a good supporting point for that is we talked about this on stream the other night. I was like, I don't know if you realized, there is a larger gap between Halo 5 and Halo Infinite than there is between Halo 3 and Halo 4.
Yep.
And
that is the weirdest thing to think about.
Yeah.
Dude, I was in primary school, elementary school when Halo 3 came out, and I almost finished high school when Halo 4 came out.
Yeah.
That is the weirdest, you know, we were talking about earlier how like time goes faster the older you get. That is the weirdest, like, it feels like a time jump. It feels like a teleport.
It does. It does. That whole time in between just feels fucking like nothing. Like MCC came out when I started my freshman year, and it took 4 fucking years, my entire high school career, for that game to be in a working state until they finally said, all right, 4 years, we'll fix it now. And I'm 2018, the year that I graduated, they said, okay, the Halo Insider program is now here. We've taken a small section of the team, cut them out, and said, all right, we're gonna go fix MCC finally. And then they finally fixed that. My high school years just, I had to sit and deal with MCC, which I played through every fucking bug, and I waited for every update every day, every week. I read through all of it, and I'm like, it's gonna be fixed, it's gonna be fixed. Next update's gonna fix it, next update's gonna fix it. And then they just stopped, and it was like radio silence, and then it was just like, all right, bye MCC, Halo 5 time.
Guess it's Halo 5 now.
Yep. And it's just, it's crazy to think about that. Yeah, Halo has so much opportunity, and it feels like it's just being wasted. In a way, because they're trying to make one thing, and it's not going too well right now. Their main their main dish, they're not preparing it well.
I honestly feel like they should go the way that Disney have kind of taken Star Wars, at least in the recent years, with the shows and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, have different studios manage different things and have them come out like side by side. It's not like I'm not into Warhammer at all, but like Warhammer kind of has that with like so many different games coming out all the time, and they're not all of them are good. In fact, from what I've like seen in videos, a few of them are like quite bad, but like you've always got something. There's always something there. There's something new coming out. Like, and then if one game does come out and it sucks, it's like, okay, well, there's one coming out next year, so maybe that'll be good. Like, I don't want like loads of shit.
Yeah, like really we don't want a new one every 6 months or every year or something. You know, find a balance.
Yeah. But like something like there needs to be. I honestly think the future of Halo is letting other studios work on it as well as 343, having other studios develop things alongside 343 making the main games. Have 343 work on like Halo Infinite 2, Halo Infinite. This time it's more Infinite, yada yada yada, and then have Infinity Ward work on like ODST Tactical, and then Treyarch work on like the Flood have returned or whatever.
Yes, because I mean, not only that, Apex, Respawn, they're not the only studio working on updates and content for Apex. Like, when I found that out, I was like, okay, that makes so much more sense. Like, it's very easy to be like, oh, well, they're doing it right, why can't you? But like, you know, I see background, you know, behind the scenes of like a random ass studio saying, yes, like here's how we designed the skin for this character and for this character. And here's where we took the inspiration from it. And when you do that, you give more breathing room for everyone else, and you just, it makes things a lot easier to go through, instead of, you know, your artists are like, all right, you gotta come up with all these new skins and all this, you better hurry it up, the season, it's already started, it's already ended, keep it up, keep it on. So one person can only create so many unique items until you sometimes have something in a particular game where 5 skins look very, very identical to each other.
Now, what game could you be talking about there?
I don't know, but yeah, it is okay to off-put things, and maybe that's already the case. Maybe another particular studio who's been working very closely with the Halo franchise for the past fucking 18 years is working on something we don't know yet. Hopefully,
maybe. Yeah,
we'll see.
Maybe it could be. You never know.
If so, let's hope it's good. I don't see why not. I mean, honestly, their track record, Certain Affinity, is pretty good. I didn't even know until I looked it up. I was like, oh my God, they've been working on Halo since Halo 2. Like the map packs and shit. It's like, that's incredible.
Max Hoberman left Bungie to start it and just carried on working on Halo just in his own studio. Like, that I hope is the beginning of that for the future, because it will be a very good start. That will be a very, very good start.
It will be.
Especially if said possible video game experience ends up being really well, then ends up going really well, then it's a great start. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that is the beginning of that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that on stream too. We were talking about battle royales that have been doing really well and ones that have not. You know, like there are people that were like, Fallout 76 had a battle royale, and I'm like, exactly. You know.
Oh my God, it did!
Exactly. You forget about it, and so did Battlefield 5, and etc. Yeah. And it's like, it's already hard enough to, one, make a battle royale and fit it alongside your main bread and butter. You know, Apex Legends wasn't Titanfall 2 battle royale. It was its own thing. They said, hey, we're done with Titanfall for the most part. You know, it's in the same universe, but for the most part, it is its own separate entity, and they're not trying to manage two things at once. And so already that's difficult. And when you're not, unfortunately, managing the main dish very well, we can only hope that they're going to manage the other one, the side one, well, or even better. But it is very difficult, because with that genre, you don't have to rethink it, redo it, revolutionize it, whatever. You just need to innovate or bring something new and fresh to the table that works somehow. And Apex did that masterfully. And so that's why Fortnite was like, oh my God, look at all the cool shit that they thought of. Let's take that. And so did other games. And so they were like, no, and that's not a totally bad thing, because it then improves other people's experience as well. But I'm just hoping that it's not a Firestorm. It's not a whatever Fallout 76 was called. I can't remember. We watched the trailer last night, and I was like, but I don't remember what that was called. They already shut it down though. It's already dead.
I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, surprise. And with Battlefield and with Firestorm, they basically just didn't update it. They were like, here you go. They kind of did, but for the most part, they were focused on 2042. Yep. Wow, but yeah. So I mean, we can only hope that if they're gonna do something like that, they stick to it. They dig their heels in the ground. They say, we're gonna stick with this. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna work on it, and hopefully, they've got the right people making it where it's gonna be good, and it's gonna bring something fresh to the table instead of just making.
I honestly think the key for Halo's Battle Royale is to do exactly what Warzone did and just be like an unabashedly Halo Battle Royale. Warzone was like unequivocally a Call of Duty Battle Royale. You can get loadouts, you can get kill streaks, stuff like that, like perks.
And as much as I didn't enjoy it, other people did. Like, it's fun. It was fun, despite the cheaters, etc. Like, people very obviously had fun with it, and that's the main thing you need to focus on. Is people are like, oh well, if they're gonna make a battle royale, like they need drop pods, they need to be ODSTs, and it needs to be on the ring. But like, that doesn't matter at all at the end of the day, because if you have that, but it's not fun.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, it's one of those things where like. That stuff is good for marketing, but once you've seen the trailers and you've hit like your 5th game, that stuff kind of wears off. Then you start looking at the actual gameplay, how the loot works, how big the map is, how the vehicles work, how the circle comes in, etc., etc. And then it's like, okay, I don't really care if I'm coming down in the drop pod if the guns feel like ass and there's lag and desync and the circle comes too fast.
Exactly, and that's why I was worried about the.
I do think Halo is more so than any other franchise better set up for it though. I think Halo requires the least amount of like modifications to its core,
and everyone knows that
to fit BR. Yeah,
absolutely. Everybody knows that.
Like we have big maps already, we have enclosing circles already, we have weapon tiers already, vehicles, health systems, shield systems, dropping in, limited lives, respawns, revives. We have literally every facet of a battle royale already in Halo. It's been there for years, like decades at this point. Like every element of it is there.
A revive system in Halo 5.
Exactly. Like Halo requires. We've had bullet drop, we've had bullet spread, we've had travel time. Everything we need. Like Halo, more so than any other franchise, requires the least amount.
We've had weapon attachments, and we've had different types of weapons. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Like it doesn't need any like massive altercations. It really doesn't. That's why I'm pretty hopeful for Tatanka, honestly. I'm pretty hopeful for that because it's. I did kind of like how like shrouded in mystery it still is, in a way. Because I think if it was like any other thing, we've been hearing leaks about this now for ages. Like pre-Infinite even releasing, we've been hearing leaks about this thing. And I feel like if that was any other like franchise, they would have like come out and like not confirmed it, but like certainly confirmed it. No. They've not said a thing about it. Like,
haven't acknowledged a single damn thing, and I think that's kind of best what they should be doing right now. But you made a good point where that's what I was worried about was, it's nice to see that there's content coming for Halo Infinite, but they need to focus. I mean, I know they are, but like they need to get the game fixed. Like it needs to feel good and be fun before that, not really before that content hits, but like it needs to be in unison, or at the very least, like that needs to be your primary focus, is making sure the game is working. Because it doesn't matter how many, they could be like, oh, we've got 100 maps that we're about to release here, and it's like, that's great, but what if I'm not having fun on the maps? What if I'm not having fun on those modes or those weapons or those equipment? What if those weapons don't work? What if that equipment doesn't work? Then I'm gonna get frustrated, and then boom, my game's gonna crash and be like, I'm not fucking opening that game up again. I'm out. Like I was already frustrated. I'm not gonna do it again. So
yeah,
I hope
that's the thing. They need to launch it in unison with with Infinite actually being content rich, because it's not going to be the best luck if they all of a sudden release a battle royale and Infinite still has desync. The UI doesn't work properly. They're still selling colors for your armor. They're still making you buy emblems. They're still like haven't got infection or assassinations or anything like that. Like that stuff needs to be priority number one. It has to be.
Absolutely.
And even though I think that in terms of like the raw like population growth of the franchise, releasing Tatanka as soon as possible is probably best. I still don't think they should do it. Despite that, I don't think they should do that. I still think the main game needs to be at least in parity with like Halo 3 in terms of content by the time it happens, and polish. If not Halo Reach, at the very least.
Make sure you're, 100%. I mean, I can make as many analogies or examples as I could, but I know there's not really a need to. I think it's pretty easy to understand that. I mean, almost everyone has said that. Like, everyone that says, I'd love a battle royale, but game needs to be complete first. We said that even before the fucking Halo Infinite released. Every major content creator was like, it needs a battle royale, and we're like, no, it needs to be a good game first. Now here we are, and we're like, fuck, it's not yet, but hopefully soon, and then we'll get our battle royale. But
yeah, it's rough.
Okay. Quickly, or fairly quickly, up to you, but what's most important to you in a Halo game? Or like if something's coming out, if you were at 3 for 3 and they were like, all right, we got a list here of what we're doing, you get to pick one thing off of there that for sure is gonna work through and through, 100%, be perfect, maybe even feature rich, whatever, is gonna be there, and like the one thing that you seek out, and then you're like, God, that's what I want, that's what I need, that is what is most important to me. Taquin said theater. Story. Okay.
Yeah, story for me, for sure. Good. Like, there's a lot of things that are close. Like, honestly, I'd probably say tied number 2 for me would be social features and armor customization. But number 1 for me is story, definitely. Like, that's good. The story. I'm a huge Halo multiplayer person, competitive person, and also like social as well. I love them both. Yeah. But above all else, Halo is like story to me, like number 1. And the story needs to be deep, needs to have like a lot of like intricacies to it that make me want to like research other things, start like creating theories about stuff, like looking at mysteries, that kind of stuff. That's number 1 for me.
That's good. Favorite? I kind of already. I feel like these sort of things are kind of predictable at some point. But favorite Halo memory or memories? Or do you think about Halo, like it comes up and you're like, this is like the thing that holds this nostalgia for you?
I don't have one single one that stands out above all the others. I have loads.
I imagine. I imagine.
The one that instantly comes to mind is my first time ever playing it. When I was, it was 2002, so it came out in EU in 2002. Came out in 2002.
Oh, yeah.
I was 6 years old, I think. Went to Toys R Us with my mum and my friend and his mum, and we were both allowed to get a game. He got a Harry Potter game for PS2. I got Halo 1. Went back to my house, and I remember playing Halo 1 campaign split screen with him until my eyes stunk. I vividly remember my eyes stinging.
Yep. I think we've all been there, yeah, absolutely.
That was the first time. I'd always played games before that, but that was the first time I played the game, and I was like, shit, this is actually like not just something I'm enjoying, but this is something that I'm loving. Yeah. So that, yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. Every time I ask that question, it is always. We could talk about social features all day long, but again, it's always a memory that involves someone else, whether it's one person or it's multiple people. Like the VidMaster challenges, or like the first time playing split screen with someone in your family. It's always with someone else or other people in a social setting, and you're just having fun and you're enjoying it.
I mean, you ask any Bungie developer that worked on Halo 1, and they will all say the reason Halo 1 was so popular was word of mouth.
Absolutely.
Every single one of them will say that. Word of mouth was the reason that Halo 1 got so popular. The fact that someone took their console and their TV and their game to someone else's house and was like, hey, play this game. And they play split screen campaign, or they 1v1'd on Prisoner or Hang 'em High.
Yep.
And then they went out and bought an Xbox and they took it to their friend's house and they had two of their buddies play it. And then it's this web, this interconnected web that's spread out so far. And that is how Halo as a franchise came to be full stop.
100%. I mean, when I first moved to Nebraska, I was 11. So like moving is already hard enough for a young kid. You know, you're leaving your friends behind. You don't know anyone there. But I don't remember how we even knew them or how we met them, but we had a family and they had two boys that were on mine and my little brother's age, and they came over, and then they had some friends that were, again, around the same age, if not the same age, that came over. And at some point within the first few months that we had moved in, we sat down, we played Halo CE, we just did Warthog Wars on Blood Gulch, we just rammed it together and see which one could fly highest. But had CE not had split screen for some reason, not had those social features, not had that fun arcade, feeling to Halo, that would have never happened. And I probably would have never even met those people or become friends with them. But like, that is how we started to become friends, because we shared that moment together and we got to have fun playing the video game. I was like, like the first experience I had with them was like, you want to play some Halo? And we just did that. But yeah, it's the focus on social features. And again, that's like CE, like that's a great point about being word of mouth, because I learned that like CE, the E3 before the game was supposed to release the same year, like 6 months beforehand, the game was not working. Like it was in an atrocious state. People at E3 were like, this is your launch title for Xbox? I don't know, it's not great. The frame rate's awful. And apparently they were like, all right, guys, they shut down Bungie for like 6 months. They're like, make it fucking good. And then 6 months later they did, and it launched, and everyone was like, oh, it was pretty good. And yeah, it just
you just created an entire brand with that.
Absolutely. Oh my God. It's incredible to see the history, the journey that they had to make. But how many times throughout its life it almost wasn't. It almost didn't happen.
You look at even multiplayer in Halo, Hardy LaBelle had to get that working like the last week of Halo 1's development.
Exactly.
That was almost not there. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's wild.
Absolutely incredible. So obviously, in terms of content creation, we're kind of on the later end. We didn't really start with Halo 3 or anything like that. For the most part, much too young and certain other factors. But what do you feel has kept you going through the dry spell? Obviously I've already kind of seen, you've experimented with, another channel, you've experimented with like SCP content, with other Call of Duty stuff, and you've made other stuff in the past when you first started out. But again, like Halo for the most part is your bread and butter. It's what's got you where it is. But what has kept you going through the 6 years of seemingly nothing-ish?
Yeah. I just love Halo. That is really as simple as that. Like, every time every time I come to make like a Halo video, especially when I make one that's related to like Halo 1, 2, or Halo 3, or Halo 1, 2, or 3 in particular, I just love it. Like, I can still go, I've made so many videos in the past like month and a half that have just been about Combat Evolved, just because I love that game so much. One of my friends who I've known my entire life, played Halo with since like I was 6 years old, a few weeks ago, we replayed Halo 1 Legendary and Co-op, and it was so nostalgic. And after that, I was like, you know what? I just want to make loads of Halo 1 videos. So that's pretty much what I did. I don't know. I just love it. Even though like I've not made any like specific Infinite videos in ages, because, well, I don't need to elaborate. But like that's the thing. I love the old games so much that I don't even mind that, to be honest with you. In fact, I would even go to say that I've probably had as much fun making videos about like old games recently than I have like new content. Maybe even more fun. I would love to be in a spot where there was new stuff releasing like every week for Infinite, and I was making like lore videos and theory videos and stuff like that all the time. But obviously that's not happening. So I'm right now I'm more than content to go back to the old stuff. Still doing branch out stuff. Working on 3 branch out things at the moment for Doom, Destiny, and Final Fantasy. But like other than that, just I just love Halo. It's really that simple. I love Halo.
That's good. Yeah, and I think I mean, that definitely shines through in your content. I think it's very easy to tell. Like right off the bat in any sort of video, people are just like, God, this guy gets it. This guy gets it, you know? And and I think that's what makes a lot of, you know, content creators successful is when they can exude that love and that passion through a screen and people can feel, you know, included in a way. You know, I grew up and by the time I was in high school, for the most part, it felt like I was like the only Halo fan in my town. I was like the only one playing it, the only one enjoying it, and whereas everyone else was just like, oh, GTA, Call of Duty, and Overwatch, and every other fucking game under the sun. But I stuck with Halo every fucking time. And when 2019 rolled around with Halo Outpost Discovery, that was like greatest weekend of my life. And the morning of the first day, I like woke up and I cried a little bit because I was like, I'm finally gonna be surrounded by people that share the same passion as me, and I can just feel like the best version of myself, and I can just be me, and I can talk about it, and it was great, and it was fantastic. But yeah, no, having that ability to transfer that over, it probably has felt has helped. God knows how many people feel included and validated and feel just good about loving Halo. That's incredible.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. That's like one of my main goals in this. Just like, at the end of the day, I'm like, what I do like boils down to me talking about something that I love. That really is it. Like when you want to put it in a simple term,
that's simple.
Yep.
Yeah. And and again, like even as content creators, like we'll never even know how many people we've affected unless they tell us. But that's even, you know, a small Twitch channel or a large YouTube channel. You don't know how many people you're genuinely affecting with it, and how many people you've maybe, you know, changed the course of their life or changed their mind in something or just made them feel less alone in a very easily lonely world. It is incredible how you can, you know, you can do something like that with something, you know, as you know, you got the internet, YouTube, Halo community, Halo lore community. It just continues to be an even smaller subsection. It's incredible to think about that. But yeah, I agree. Oh, wait. All right, diverting away from video games and Halo. You're a fairly big rock climber, yes?
Yeah.
Fairly?
Yeah,
okay. I love rock climbing as well. I used to live in Colorado. Nice. My older siblings used to, like my brother Jordan used to be an instructor, used to work at a rock climbing place. And so like he was ripped for a while. And I loved it. And when I moved away from Colorado, I was like, like I had a bluff or like, which is like a small mountain or some shit, like right in my backyard. And it was a giant park. And we'd go and climb up there and there was wildlife everywhere. And it was beautiful. We moved away from that. I fucking missed it. But
I'm jealous of that.
I went back there and climbed it about 4 years ago. And I was like, my mom let me just go out here on my fucking own. Like one wrong step, I'm gone. It's over. Dead. In the grave. Oh my God. But what got you into rock climbing and when?
So it was a few years ago. I did it like a few times when I was younger and stuff like that. Like for some reason, a lot of like birthday parties I went to when I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 were at like climbing walls. But on the kids' walls, they're like just where like you go like 1 foot off the ground and climb to the side.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
So I'd done it a bit before, but not too much. But then a few years ago, one of my friends just messaged me, do you want to go climbing? I was like, sure. Yeah, why not? We went. And it turns out it was actually really addictive. And then we kept going and we kept going. And then I bought shoes and then I started covering myself in chalk. And then I started taping up the holes in my hand and stuff like that. And it just like, I don't know, it just got really addictive.
That's good.
Yeah, I've actually not climbed in a few minutes now. Because I've been skating quite a lot recently, and also gym takes up quite a lot of time as well from that. But I think I'm going Saturday, I think. So tomorrow, I believe that'll be as of when this releases.
There you go.
And I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I just find it's really addictive. It's a good workout as well.
Absolutely.
Really good workout.
Yeah, I mean, without even really realizing it.
Yeah, you only realize it like the next day when you wake up and like your elbow aches like there. I was getting aches there.
Dude. Fingers just really fucking feel it. Holy hell.
Especially in lots of crimps like that, and your fingers are just like destroyed.
I've never done super advanced stuff, but I've seen some do like the you know, black level where it's like they're like
Yeah.
momentumly like jumping to something that's like at a really weird angle. They need to grab it just right, but it's not like where your like fingers can go in. It's like a fucking square cube, and they have to like hold it just right. And it's like, how is that humanly possible?
One of the gyms that we go to has orange ones that are like that, and we always do it like foreigner artifacts because they look like exactly like a foreigner artifact, like the exact same shape. It just doesn't look like you can hold that. And one of our friends that I go with is like really good, so he does those kind of routes like semi-frequently. And watching him do them, it's like there's just zero gravity. It's weird.
Dude, it's oh my god, it's incredible,
crazy,
absolutely incredible. There's some where you're like, it's just your fingertips. You just
yeah.
Oh my god, so much goes into that. But again, there's so much concentration and so many other elements that like it's not like, you know, you go to the gym and you're like, okay, I'm here to do a specific thing that I know will result in something else. It's you're having fun and enjoying it, and then, you know, if you do it enough, the offset can it could fucking jacked from it and stuff. The amount of strength you'll have in so many areas of your body that you normally wouldn't. It's absolutely incredible. You've bouldered, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
outside.
Bouldering, for people who don't know, is basically climbing without any sort of special equipment, without a safety harness or anything like that. So you're just basically free climbing. If you fall, oopsie doopsie. If you know, what's the highest you've bouldered?
I'm trying to remember. I think I've done a 6B before. That's my highest. What do you guys use like V ratings over there?
I'm not sure.
Like, so I can't remember what it is. I think it's like V5 or V6. Okay. 6B was the highest thing I did. And I can't remember what route that was. But it wasn't too bad. But it's the only one I've done. I'm normally like 6A, which is like V4, I think V5, which is like. It's like still like pretty amateur, but it's like a bit higher than amateur. I mean, I've been doing it for a while now, so. Could
you put that into like stories or like not feet, obviously, but like how high?
Oh, like height.
Height, yeah.
Well, maybe like 15 feet, maybe. That might be completely wrong. I'm trying to work out. So this,
okay, so in your measurement, what is it?
I'm trying to measure it based on. So this sounds so weird, right? But my measurements for things are based on. I imagine that wall with somebody who's exactly 6 foot.
Yeah, yep.
So a lot of my friends are like bang on 6 feet.
Same.
So I look at someone who's 6 foot and I compare them to that wall in my mind.
Like
right,
how many of them?
Yes, exactly. And I want to say like 2.5, so like 15 feet. Yeah, roughly. It's tough. I mean, I only do bouldering. I don't do like actual like rope climbing. I only do bouldering.
Gotcha.
I just do bouldering. So it depends where we go. Some of the walls are a bit higher. Some of them are a bit lower. I want to say about 15 feet, maybe.
Shit. It sounds like not a lot, but that is pretty high.
Even when you sit at the bottom of the wall, it doesn't look that high.
Yeah.
But when you get up
you
there,
get there and you look down, you're like,
high it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. So I've even like the rock climbing areas where, you know, you're in a harness, you get up and you got something pulling you up, and then you basically lean back and you do the whole like you push off the wall and you just go down and down and down. That is not easy to do, especially when you're up there. You're like, I know, like I understand, I've secured in, I get it, but it is really hard to just take that leap and let the process go down. And so sometimes, like even me in my 20s, I'm like, can't do it. So I very slowly climb back down. Yeah. It is hard. It's very hard.
There's one of my gyms. There's a 12-meter high rope climbing wall, and it is terrifying. It goes into the rafters of this like warehouse, and it terrifies me. Like I'm not even that bad with heights.
You think with rope climbing, is it just like a straight? Is it like a grid or is it just one rope?
It's weird. So there's an overhang. So it goes up like maybe 11 meters, and there's an overhang that goes like, so it's like that, and there's an overhang that goes like that.
Gotcha.
That's right at the top, which
it's like a whole like rope like wall basically.
Yeah.
Okay,
just ropes. Just ropes.
And even then you'd think you'd be like pretty safe because, you know, you can grab like anywhere, you're good, you know, you can hold on. But
even thinking about that place, that wall right now freaks me out. It's giving me like chills thinking about it. Yep. So high up.
Absolutely. Holy shit. Have you've never taken like a fall or anything, or broken any bones climbing?
No, I've never broken a bone at all, ever. I've like injured myself before.
Yep.
I went outdoor bouldering a few years ago and I fell. It was in the middle of like a national park, and I jumped off this rock at a weird angle, landed on my ankle, and we're about a mile and a half away from the car, and I had to walk back to the car. My ankle was destroyed. I got home and it was swelled up like a goddamn pumpkin. It's pretty grim. But oh god, I saw so one day when I didn't go, I was gonna go with one of my friends, and I think I had to stay home to make a video or something. He went, and he fell off the wall and dislocated his elbow. And they had to. I'm pretty sure he said he went to hospital and they had to pop it back in. From what I remember, it's pretty grim though. There are some real grim, like injuries from climbing.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You seen the documentary of that guy who like bouldered up that massively high mountain? With
Alex Honnold.
I think so.
Yeah.
With like nothing. And it's
free solo.
Those are fucking insane. Because it's like, if they fall, now you've just got footage of someone dying. And you're like, what do we do now? Like, that's gotta be horrifying to film. Be like, at any moment, one wrong slip, they're gone. There's no safety equipment, there's nothing. They're climbing like hundreds and hundreds high mountain on their own.
Yeah. You watch the documentary, and he fails it the first time. He has to like bow out the first time, and then he's not sure if he's gonna do it. And then all of a sudden, like one morning, the camera crew wake up and he's like, "Wait, where is he?" And he's already halfway at the wall because he's like he didn't want the pressure of the camera crew at the like start of the wall.
Smart.
So he's like halfway up.
Smart.
Yeah, Alex Honnold's like insane. The stuff he does, like you have to have absolutely no fear whatsoever. The second you have a slight inkling of fear, you're done. You are literally dead. Like you're not gonna survive it. You're gonna fall off and you die.
Yep. There's so many things that have to be absolutely precise in like because again, it's not a rock climbing wall where like things are conveniently placed. It is you are constantly trying to figure out where and what I can grab. If it's safe to grab, and if it's even gonna be able to hold me up. Yeah. Humans are just fucking, we're weird creatures in what we feel like we're not capable of, but what we also are truly capable of.
What's interesting is the route that he took up. If you look at the actual difficulty ratings of the route, it's not that bad, but the actual like. The difficulty of like the actual moves and the holds wasn't the hard part. It's the endurance of climbing up El Cap on your own with no ropes in one go, knowing that if you put 1 foot wrong, doesn't matter how like easy the holds are, 1 foot or hand wrong, you're not just gonna die. You're gonna die in a miserable way. You're gonna you're gonna fall. Yeah. It's not a nice way to go.
And dude, rock climbing it takes so much stamina. Holy shit.
It really does.
You can be you're like, yeah, we'll go for like a 2-hour session. 30 minutes in, you're like
yeah, dude. We're always like, we'll do 2 hours. An hour and a half, we're like, oh Christ, should we just go home?
Let's just go. I don't care anymore. Yeah. There's no breaks, there's nothing up there. He's holding on and he's exerting energy. Entire fucking time. Oh my god, absolutely insane. Okay, so this is something new that I'm starting. It's kind of starting. I started it with the last interview with Kelly Axeman, but I wanted to like try to open things up. And so instead of it's always me asking the questions, I wanted to ask my community. You know, hey, is there anything you've been wanting to ask this particular person that I'm about to interview that they may be able to answer? Basically, they all put all their answers in one little channel, and I pick what I think would be the best one. Out of that I think would be the most interesting to answer. And there's a lot of good ones in there, and if you ever want, you can go in there and answer them yourself. If you ever got some free time, go for it. But the one that I thought would be the best, that I feel like maybe could warrant the most interesting answer, would be if you could change one bit of the Halo lore to anything else you wished, why would it be? Or no, what would it be and why?
Oh, that's a good question, actually.
Because I've heard there's been some things that have kind of been like retconned or like that aren't super consistent throughout the series, I think. I'm not sure, but anything at all that you want that you would like to change?
I would. There's a few things come to mind. I would make it so Guilty Spark actually died at the end of Halo 3. Because even though like the way his character, because he actually survived Halo 3, or rather like the Chakass, the personality that was Guilty Spark before Guilty Spark survived. And even though he's been written really well since, I don't like that because it really watered down Halo 3's ending. Like you definitely kill Spark in Halo 3's ending. You get revenge for him killing Jonathan, trying to kill you, trying to light the ring. You do that, right? And I just feel like having him survive in any capacity just waters that down. Like, Halo 3's ending to a degree has been kind of watered down overall because the Flood in High Charity that crashes on the Ark didn't actually die. That I understand more. There's definitely more logic to that. That makes sense. I can, even though I don't fully agree with it, I can be like, right, fair enough. Like, there's logic to that. I get it. But Guilty Spark surviving, like, he very clearly blew into like a lot of pieces. That's probably the main thing I'd change. I'm trying to think if there's anything major. I wouldn't kill Julian Dharma at the start of Halo 5, but I care more about Spark. I was never really that big on Julian Dharma, to be honest.
Yeah, when it comes to Spark, though, the way you put it, it reminds me of like Halo 5 with Cortana, you know? Halo 4 had such a really good ending and so impactful, and then it just feels like you just kind of throw it away with Halo 5, and it's like, fuck was the point? Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I barely knew that Guilty Spark was still around. I'm sure a lot of people didn't, because again, it's outside. You know, it's in books, outside media, outside of the main timeline that's told to the games. But it's a good point.
Yeah, it's technically not Guilty Spark anymore. It's Chakass, so it's a little bit different, but it's still like it. At the end of the day,
still just like
Bungie made it clear that we definitely killed everything in that metal orb at the end of Halo 3 to get revenge for Johnson and everything else. No element of that can survive. But yeah, it did.
Oh, yeah. There are a lot of good questions there. There was someone that had like fucking like 8 or 10 of them just in a row. He's like, I've been wanting to ask this man a lot of questions for a while, so I'm gonna take my chance here. And I was like, Jesus Christ, he's got a fucking archive of this, a little notepad of what to ask Luke if I ever get a chance to meet him. He's like, he's been wanting to have a conversation with that for a while, but I was like, I think this will be good because give control. There you go. All right, now we're gonna get into the personal talk, the personal section, where basically what I do is I do a big deep dive onto your social medias, way into the past. I pick and choose bits and pieces that I think could be interesting to talk about. Maybe you can give some more context on if there isn't a whole lot of context. We basically just kind of reflect, look back in the past of what you used to be, where you used to be, and basically see kind of how that transitions into now. So first and foremost, Instagram has not been around as long as some of your other social media platforms. Like the first few posts, at least for the HiddenXperia Instagram, from November 1st, Instagram selfie was November 2nd, 2018.
Oh my God. I'm holding the plasma rifle upside down in that as well.
Yeah, fuck, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, you are. Oh my God. You are, that's,
It threw me off. Someone commented that and I can't unsee it.
Yeah, shit.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah, this was almost 4 years ago. Real close.
Yeah, that's an ancient picture. That's when I had a beard, and I'm very happy that I don't anymore. Very happy. I also hit the gym a lot more since then too. Feels good.
That's good. Self-improvement. Next up is a little bit of a later photo. This one, actually, just 4 days later that you'd posted it. This was a 343 visit. This is November 6th, 2018.
Oh my God, T-posing thing. Holy shit.
My
God.
But actually, I wanted to ask you, because this is like way before our current world situation that we're in, and you wearing a mask. What was the reasoning behind that?
I got really into like Japanese streetwear culture, and like Japanese fashion, and obviously in Japan people have worn masks for like a long time. Oh yeah, it's like quite common over there
as well.
Yeah. It's like a hygiene thing.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know. I thought it was like pretty wavy, and Bape, the branding, made these like really cool masks that I'm wearing there. I was really into that kind of stuff at that point, and I was like, you know what, that mask is kind of sick. I'm gonna wear that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I do that. I've still got that mask actually. might be in this drawer. No, okay, I thought it was in the drawer next to me. I was gonna whip it out and share it. Nah, that was I just thought it was like a cool, like different kind of thing. Because like I only got into like fashion kind of stuff for years ago. I was never into it at all when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
And so like I just like wanted to like do something different, and that's kind of how I did it.
That's cool. Absolutely. 4-year change. All right, this is a little bit kind of in the middle. It's all surprisingly from not all of them, but the first 3 are from November 4th, 2020. I don't know when the photo was taken, but I know you said I really wish lockdown wasn't happening right now because I really miss rock climbing, and this is
yeah. So there was a bit where lockdown's kind of lifted in the UK, but gyms weren't allowed to open. So we're allowed to like climb outside, but we couldn't go to gyms. So we were like, you know what? Let's just like go into the middle of nowhere and go climbing. So we got this app that gives you like loads of like climbing routes on certain rocks and like certain like parks and stuff. Dude, that summer was honestly so sick.
Summer of 2020 was something else, dude.
Because we'd had a taste of like being locked down and how bad that was, and I was like, and they were starting to ease it a little bit. So we were like, oh, I got not a new lease of life is the wrong term, but like I got a new like appreciation for like going out and like, being in search and stuff. And so like literally multiple times a week, me and like all my friends would drive to this national park. We'd go to like these like really comfy farm shops. So I don't know if you get these in the US, but like farm shops that like in the middle of like middle of nowhere village. They sell like produce like that's like made nearby. So like meat that's harvested nearby, honey that's grown nearby, vegetables that are grown nearby, stuff like that. We used to go to these farm shops, get like loads of like real nice food, and just spend a day in the middle of nowhere climbing.
That's fucking
just like
awesome.
messing about. I used to take my drone and just like mess around with the drone and stuff like that as well. Get some cool footage. That was really fun. We did it quite a lot that year because. I honestly, in hindsight, I think I prefer that to the climbing gyms as well, because like being that one in particular, right? Okay, so that rock there in particular is on. You can't see it, but like just to the left of that is the like cliff edge. Oh. And it looks out over like a massive like valley, like a really big valley, a valley that's like so big you can see the clouds moving, like the shadows of the clouds moving through it.
Jesus.
So the wind in that was insane. Like if I was on that wall, I couldn't hear what anyone else was saying. But it was so cool because it feels like more natural. Like I've always been into like Bear Grylls kind of stuff, and it feels like that kind of like level of climbing. We also the way that you brace your fall is you have like a mat. So one of my friends has like a portable climbing mat, and he brought that with him. Yep. But it was so dicey because that wall went up like probably 18 feet, and the way the rock was formed, it was like a V shape. So trying to. How can I do this? So it was like that and then like that, and we climbed up that bit, so there was a gap in the middle, but you couldn't fit the mat in there properly. So we kind of wedged it in, and one of us stood on either side, and we're like, if you fall, I remember someone saying like, right, if you fall, don't fall too far back because you will split your head open. Just fall down. And it was always quite dicey, especially with the wind as well. But it was fun as hell.
Lordy, that's great. Holy hell,
it's good.
Hella memories just right there in one photo. All right, and this one was just a little over a year ago, June 12th, 2021.
There it is.
Nearly a different person, you know. If someone didn't know who you were, you'd put the two photos, up against, you now versus them.
Yeah.
Are they brothers? Are they distant cousins?
Yeah, that was so I'd wanted hair like that pretty much since like 2005. Ever since I could start, like literally. Two things, right? Resident Evil 4, the main character, Leon Kennedy, has like blonde, like kind of curtain sort of thing, like basically emo hair. And then Gerard Way, lead singer of My Chemical Romance, had like black emo hair, like typical like emo hair, like mid 2000s. And I always wanted either of their hairstyles, and I tried it when I was younger, and it just looked awful. Like my hair grows out, it doesn't grow down, it's really thick, so it grows out like that. But during lockdown, I was like, right, I can't get a haircut for months. I'm not going to do it myself. So I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to like just full send the emo hair.
That's hilarious.
And then I always wanted to dye it black, but then we did the stream for Jack's dad for
MND.
Yeah, and it was M&D. And said if we raised like X amount, I'd dye my hair black. We raised it. We excelled it. So dyed my hair black. That's great.
God damn. Oh, wow. Well, there you go. You got a little bit of a taste of it.
Yeah, the dye faded way too fast though. Within like 3 weeks, the dye was almost gone.
Just gone.
Gutted.
Lordy.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, some dye does not stick at all. Or sometimes I've known some people that don't take very good care of it, and then their $100, $200 hair dye is just faded and gone.
Thankfully, I think mine was £7, so about $10. So no wonder it didn't last.
No
I
problem.
bought some real cheap dye. Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going on to Twitter, which your Twitter is hilarious to me. All right. Holy shit. You've been tweeting for the past 11 years. You've been on Twitter since 2011. And there was a while where I got to where I was scrolling and it was tweet after tweet after tweet with zero engagement on it. Zero. And you were talking to an echo chamber. And it was like, it felt like their own like personal diary. I was like, holy fuck.
Oh my God.
This guy has just been talking and talking and talking and talking forever with like little to nothing. And then I'd be like, oh, this one had a reply. Oh, it's just him again. Him replying to the same. Okay. Long time. So 2011, you were like 14?
14.
14? Okay. So got I think about 8 or 9 of these, but this is the first tweet that you had. Can you explain this?
No, not really.
Bear cover lessons and ting by the headmaster and ting. This is your first tweet, November 30th, 2011 at 6:22 a.m. I'm assuming my time.
Yeah, that would have been like what, midday?
Noon.
I'm guessing I was at school and the headmaster covered one of our lessons. That's like reading a different language.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume that I've.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Okay. Moving on from the first one, we have the second one. And I can relate to this a lot. This was hilarious because this tweet goes with another one. But this was February 11th, 2012. There you go.
Oh my, yeah, dude, you had so many ISP issues, and so did I as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. So I was hitting a point where my internet, it was like back in the day, like
this is 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, internet speeds were starting, like there were a few packages starting to like 100 megabit. I was on like 3 down and like 0.5 up, and I was uploading videos, so it was taking ages, and I was like, right, finally I can get better internet. I switched to a provider called Virgin Media. Oh my God, Virgin Media were awful. I think it was supposed to be good. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. We were with them for about a year, and it was miserable. It was the worst experience. Funnily enough, actually, last year in December, so the month when I've never been busier, I was like, right, my internet speed is ridiculously slow. I'm going to try Virgin Media again. And I guarantee anybody watching from the UK will understand this. Virgin Media are not great. They throttle you absurd amounts. Like, you like refresh YouTube and they'll throttle you. It's ridiculous, right? And that happened to me constantly because I was uploading videos all the time and they were constantly throttling me. My internet never worked. I'd play like, I was even playing at the time, like Diablo 3 or something. My ping would spike to like 3,000 frequently, constantly.
Fuck.
Like, and it's like not even that thing where it's like consistently high ping, it's spiking. So you can never predict it. Like, at least if it's high all the time, you can kind of get used to it, right?
Yep.
If it's spiking, you can't predict it. You can't judge when it's going to go high or low. And it was just a miserable experience.
Fuck.
And so I think we ended up switching back to BT, and then we just had like very low to average speeds for ages, but they were consistently low to average, which I would prefer to just like spiking.
Oh man. Oh yeah. I saw that tweet and I saw the next one. I was like, oh god. Oh god. It reminds me of how many fucking times I'd get on stream and I'd be like, guys, internet's fixed. Let's go. And then literally within either 20 minutes to a few hours, a few days, right back to shit.
You'd be like, let's go. Yeah.
Gone. Disconnected.
You mean disconnected?
Oh my god. All right, this one's from March 11, 2012. I respect it, but I'm a little confused on what it means. So,
Fuck knows. How old was I at that time? 15. Jesus Christ.
This weather is sexual. Oh yeah. I have homework. Hashtag fuck school.
Dude, I say that as if I was going to be going out in good weather. I'd be sat inside making Halo videos. That's exactly what I would have been doing. Or recording a zombies video. I would not have been going out in it. I would have been closing my windows, closing my blinds, and sat there with a fan on recording videos.
Yep. I was like, that's an interesting way to describe the weather. I don't think I've heard that in a while. All right.
Oh, Christ. Yeah, we used to get, like, the amount of homework we got at our school as well was just insane. So it was always like the bane of everyone. I mean, I think everyone's like that at that age, though, right? Like, everyone just thinks it's like really bad.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Oy. So this next tweet, same day, literally 8 hours later. Pretty cool, actually. Boom. Making a sexy new YouTube background can finally get that shitty red crap off and have a new start for 500 subs.
Oh my god, that's fucking hell. That's wild.
That is a one. No, that is 1,000. Yeah, 1,000th. That is a 1,000th of roughly what you have now.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
That is absolutely insane.
10 years.
10 and a half years ago.
6 months ago.
Yep.
That's wild. That's actually wild.
All right. This one's really cool. And I'll explain who this person is because some people won't know. But
I don't know. I've got a picture somewhere. Let me find. Give me a sec.
Good luck. Go for it. OMG, I'm on Snipetality's friends list. Going fucking mental right now. March 27th, 2012, 4:11 p.m.
So, yeah, do you want to explain?
Yeah, so Snipetality was like an incredible montage editor from way back in the day, like one of the most renowned Halo montage editors. He now works at 100 Thieves, Logan Dodson. He's now like, I think their photographer, maybe video editor. I wouldn't be surprised if he also is, but photographer there. He made some other Halo reaction compilations from the E3 reveals over the past couple of years. Has been a part of the Halo community for a long time. There was like a Spartan montage from way back that probably got recommended to you on YouTube that said edited by Snipetality. Made a ton of montages.
Yeah, I mean, Logan is an absolute legend. I remember exactly what match it was I met him in. I think it was either CTF or Assault on Zealot in Reach in the MLG playlist. That was it. I know it was on Zealot, and it was either CTF or Assault that I met him in. And I remember freaking out, added him, took a picture on my phone. And I'm pretty sure I texted it to like 5 of my friends. I had no idea who it was. I was like, "Oh my god, I just met Snipetality." They're like, "Who?"
Who?
But to me, I was like, I was freaking out.
That's hilarious.
I was freaking out.
So great. Oh man. All right, next one. I had to do a little research from this tweet because I was like, what happened that day? You might be able to explain what happened though. So this is July 18th, 2013.
Oh my god, that was Halo 5's announcement, wasn't it? It was the Chief in the Desert trailer, right?
I don't think it was. Because I looked it up, this day was when they announced Halo Spartan Assault, and I think also released it. Yeah. Yes.
No, didn't release until I believe August.
Oh, okay.
I remember downloading it the morning I went on holiday. I played it on my original Windows Surface. That was all I worked on. Yeah, no, I remember that actually. That was one of the last videos I made before I just quit YouTube at that point. I think it was like the penultimate video I made, I think. Before I quit.
Wow.
Funny.
Yeah. So 3 for 3 are announcing a mega Halo surprise in around 37 minutes. This can only be good. This can only be good.
Yeah, this can only be good. Oh, you sweet summer child.
Yep. God damn. Jeez. Yeah, because I believe the Desert Chief trailer was, I believe, a month prior at E3.
Right.
This was when E3s were still in June. Lordy. I had to look that up. I was like, what the fuck happened in July? I was like, that wasn't E3 time. All right. Got two more. Oh boy. This is June 28th, 2013 at 3:18 p.m.
Ping sniped every second and you won't get what you pay for.
There's a second part to this, because what's great is sometimes when you at them or when you just use their name, they'll search for that and they'll respond to tweets if you're having issues. So what they did...
Is it... Oh, no. Okay, right. So I remember there was a reply once. I tweeted their support account saying, hey, my ping is like constantly spiking to like 3,000. What's going on? And I vividly remember the reply was like, ping? Don't you mean pings? Question mark.
Oh,
and I was like,
God.
I was like, what? Like, you know what ping is, right? You work for an ISP. Please tell me you know what ping is. And it was at this point where every single day, every day without failure, my internet was just unusable. Like, I couldn't upload, couldn't play anything. Like, it was a nightmare.
It's the most depressing shit. When the one thing you need to work doesn't.
That's the thing, right? Especially with internet issues. It's the one thing that most of the time is completely out of your control. It's not like as annoying as like a PC problem is, right? If like my graphics card's not working, most of the time I can do something to fix that, right?
Yep.
Or if like a piece of software's not working, I can find a way to get it working.
Yeah.
With an ISP, chances are the ball's in their court.
Yep.
They have to do it, and
especially if you don't really have that many options. I know people that are just there's only one ISP in their area, and they're stuck with them. And that's how it was for me for a while here. I was stuck with Cox Communications until finally.
I remember seeing your tweets about.
Yeah, it's I've been through the fucking ringer, for years with that piece of shit company. Holy hell! Everyone knows the shitty ISP, and that's the awful part about it, is that you literally can't do anything about it, because you call and it's like, who are you gonna complain to? The random ass person being paid minimum wage to answer phone calls and try to help you restart your modem 2 times?
Exactly.
You got nothing.
And then you get put on hold. You get put on hold for 20 minutes. You get charged for every minute, and
absolutely fucking atrocious. But I looked at this and I was like, what response is this? I'm sorry to hear that you're leaving us. Have you already canceled your contract? Ew. What was did they mean to say ew?
No. So what they used to do, I remember, they used to put the, so each person that ran the account, they had their own initials.
Oh, okay.
So they
God, okay.
They say like when they were on the account, it had their initials.
I thought they were like, ew, get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit. I was like, damn.
You're leaving us?
Virgin Media with the fucking Chad sass. My God.
Oh,
shit.
God.
Okay. That was fucking hilarious. Okay, so it's just a little signature. Oh, my God.
I do not miss being with the ISP, let me tell you. Not one bit.
Nobody does.
No.
Fucking absolute the hell. All right. Those are all the tweets. I kept scrolling up and I was like, these are gold. These are gold. I'm taking all these. And it just keeps going. Oh my God. Like when I was looking up Kelly's was literally just like Halo 5 tweet after Halo 5 tweet complaining about Halo 5 and 343. And I'm like, oh, so he's been pretty consistent. That's good.
Yeah.
That's all he's been doing for the like every tweet is just about Halo 5 and how awful it is. And he's just like, why can't they do this? Why can't they do that?
Answers on a postcard, please.
All right, moving on to YouTube. Pretty decent amount here, not too many, but I have your very first upload.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this was from September 8th, 2010. This is coming up about a week away from this being 12 years old.
Ooh, that's weird to think about.
Someone could have been born that day and now they're in 6th grade. But it's titled Insane Across the Map Betrayal Stick on Sandbox Easy Cap DC 60 Plus Test.
Yep. So, right, let me, you wanna play it?
Yep, we're gonna play it real quick.
Okay, sweet.
Potentially copyright music, I'm not sure, but I'm just gonna talk over for a little bit here.
We'll just talk over it. We'll talk over it. Oh, look at that grenade. Oh, look at that grenade. Oh, it's stuck him. Oh, would you look at that? Oh,
crazy.
Would you look at that?
There you go.
So, right, let me explain what an easy cap is first. So, back in the day, before Elgato, before any other, like,
Hopage, HD PVR, yeah.
Exactly. Before all that, we had something called the Easy Cap DC60. I bought mine for a whopping £5. 5 Great British pounds, right? About $7, okay?
Wow.
So it was incredibly cheap. But the issue is with this, right? The Easy Cut was such a miraculous piece of technology. You could only have either sound or color. You couldn't have both. You could have sound or color. You either had a black and white video that had sound, or you had a colorful video that had no sound. There was no way to get it to do both. And as you went back and recorded the same thing twice and overlap them, you couldn't do it. So that's why 3 Days Grace, Animal I've Become is playing in the background, because I had no other choice.
No audio.
I had no other choice. Yeah, that's pretty much that.
What the
That was my that was my test for that. Oh, you also had to play any game that you were playing in 480p as well. You couldn't play in like 720p. There was no like down sampling or downscaling, whatever. Couldn't do that.
God.
You had to play in 480p, so you couldn't read any text. Any message anyone sent you could barely read it. But that's the thing. We just put up with it. We put up with it back in the day. That was what we did.
All we had to do, dude. I have an OG Xbox to the 360, and sometimes I hop on there and I'm like, this is what we fucking dealt with. The input delay on this. Am I going? Yeah. I'm like, maybe it's the conversion like to HDMI. Maybe it's my cheapish TV. Like, I'm about to go pick up a CRTV, like directly plug it in and be like, it can't be this bad. There can't be this much input delay. Yeah. We cannot have suffered like this. But yeah, we just dealt with it. We were like, this is the pinnacle. This is the pinnacle of gaming right here.
I was just amazed that I was watching back my own footage on my PC. I was amazed that I was sat there, well, not even PC at the time, it was a laptop. I was amazed that I was sat there watching my Halo 3 gameplay on my laptop. Because the one thing you could do back in the day, if you had Bungie Pro, was you could render clips in your file share online. But for some reason, I never did that. I don't know why. I never did it.
Tarquin threw me through all that, and he was like, I did so much of that. And I was like, oh, that all existed. Holy shit. He did.
That's so OG. that was how it was back in the day. Yeah, so I used that, and I remember being so amazed that I was sat there watching my own gameplay on my laptop. Literally, dude. I was like, that's me throwing that grenade. That's me LBOing that guy. Like,
and now we're like, Xbox, record that. Right. Guys, just took a clip. I'm never gonna rewatch. Let's keep going.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of crazy though.
That's fucking insane. And yeah, now you got like fucking NVIDIA Shadowplay, Metal.tv. People are making clips. I've probably got an archive that I probably only ever even watched back maybe a quarter of it, of any game on my PC. Oh man, that's hilarious. Okay, this is the first commentary video that I could find on your channel where there was included commentary. This was November 5th, 2010. And I believe Halo Reach came out in September, right? September 2010.
Oh, okay, right. Play the video, because I don't think this is actually me.
Is it not? Okay.
Is it the Reach Falcon one?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not me. That's not me.
Who's talking?
So it's one of my friends who I used to play Reach back in the day quite a lot. So I had no way at that time. This is when I got my PVR. I got PVR for my birthday in 2010. So I could record good quality stuff, but I always assumed that, like, because I had my Xbox headset plugged into my Xbox and my controller, talking in the party chat, that it would pick up my voice, but it didn't. So I had my friend Ollie do the commentary for me.
Wow. Let me listen to it again.
We are now going to get...
That actually makes total sense now.
Falcon, or Pelican even, on... campaign of Halo Reach.
Honestly, I was like, oh, 12 years ago. I mean, yeah, it sounds pretty different.
But enough, he was actually 2 years older than me as well. So,
wow.
You've got to defend Cat.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Yeah.
Why would anyone
God damn.
I remember doing that as well. Because I think at one point, when he first showed me this Easter egg, I didn't believe him.
That's how a lot of Easter eggs start. Everyone's like, you can do this. And it's like, bullshit. Bullshit, you can do that.
Like, nah, no way you can fight a Pelican and a Phantom. No way. Yep, here we go.
Okay, now. Oh my. Someone was like, a drifts like a bitch. You can't get out because then I think you just die immediately.
It was in the game a day after we found it. The convenient timing.
This is what 2010 gaming commentaries were like. This is what they were like. No order. Not anything to it.
My gun?
Just pure anarchy.
The gun. Right.
Don't even know who that is.
Get out. You
if you get out, you didn't disappear.
Oh, God's sake, it's spawning in the air. Down, dying.
No. Viewers of
Oh my
YouTube,
God.
note the angle of attack. Shit.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ, man, this is so OG.
Peak entertainment.
How the
Hey,
fuck
Ollie.
does it do this?
Ollie, park over there, over the thing, so then I can.
Oh my god.
Note Matt failing as a Halo player.
Oh, good.
Just pure carnage. This is what content was like back then.
Goodbye, YouTube.
It was-
and
No
subscribe
cuts.
to this shitty channel.
Oh
Fucking
god.
hell. Oh, they were the days, though. They were like legit the days.
Oh my god. That's
Oh.
superb.
That's so good.
Supreme. Peak. Wow. Oh my god. Okay. That's incredible. Holy shit. Yeah, you can't record your own party audio.
Nope.
Okay. This is first Call of Duty commentary.
Oh.
First Call of Duty video I could find with commentary. This is May 5th, 2011. How to kill. I don't know anything about Call of Duty, so it's just how to kill George Romero in Call of Duty. Quiet on set achievement. And I'm just watching. I'm like, what the fuck I'm watching? But all right. So I guess this is now
me.
you. Okay.
This is my first ever commentary.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Create from HiddenXperia, and today I'm going to show you how to kill George.
So
Romero.
I in a lot of the videos you say I'm create. This is create.
I don't know. I went through a period.
And then I also
when
heard
was like-
design, I think.
Yeah, dude, I went through a period where I changed my gamer tag like every week. Like all the time.
That's an expensive hobby.
That's it. Well, there's a story behind how I did that. I won't share it today, but there's a story about how I did that. It's a long and funny story. I'll tell someday.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I used to change my gamer tag all the time. So like literally every week I'd record a video with a new name, but it'd always be like it'd be linked to HiddenXperia. It was like always, and then when I came back to YouTube, I was like, why not just do HiddenXperia? Because that makes so much more sense. But I was like, God, when I was doing that, I think I was like 14. So any sense of rationality just goes out the window.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the thought processes we have as a preteen don't make any fucking sense. Even going into high school, there's so many like times and moments in my life where I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? What was my thought process during this moment of my life? Because I can't seem to pull it back up. But yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Because at some point I was like, all right, now this person said their design. Are they multiple people on one channel? And then I got to another video and I was like, this is design or create, whatever you want. I was like,
You told me it was still me. Could you tell me it was still me?
Yeah, I was like listening back and forth. I was like, I hope it's not just the accent. I'm like 99% sure this is the same person. Please. Oh yeah.
I sound so like
All you have to do is get
gormless
the
in these.
scavenger, as shown
Oh
in the
my
video,
God.
or anything explosive, and just spam the shit out of him. Keep running laps, which helps quite a lot. Keep shooting him when you go around corners. Use anything explosive, like I said. The Mustang and the Sally will help quite a lot, which are the
Like,
upgraded pistols.
What's weird is I never used to talk this in
didn't
real life,
use
but I
that
like
for this.
slur my
I
speech loads
actually
in these
still use the
commentaries.
scavenger.
Yep.
I don't know why.
But I do get downed in a minute on purpose to use them and kill him with them. And basically, when you kill him, you get a death machine and a free perk, just like you did on Ascension for killing the monkeys. Except you get a death machine as well. So yeah,
There you
So
go.
much in this
What a
video
guy.
where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at right now.
I was gonna
so-
say, if you've not played zombies, this is just like looking at like a completely
Yeah.
different language to you.
Oh, wait.
Jesus. Yeah. Oh, you know what though, right? I do actually, in a weird way, miss that era because it was like, there was a degree of simplicity to it all,
Yep.
where you were literally just making whatever the hell you wanted. And
Yep.
I even think about like in particular to like Call of Duty stuff. The Call of Duty stuff used to be like zombies in particular. So like, funny enough, when I came back to YouTube, there was one point where I was like at like a crossroads, and I was like, right, I either go with Halo or I go with zombies. I pick one and I stick with it, and I chose Halo, which I think was long term the better choice.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Even though Halo 5 was what it was, and Black Ops 3 Zombies, people like Noah were pulling Fortnite numbers streaming that, like 100k live viewers. streaming that, which was ridiculous at the time.
Oh yeah,
those viewing figures were insane, like ridiculous figures. But I chose Halo. But like, yeah, that was the point where I do kind of miss, in a way, those videos, because there was something about like just it was the simplicity of them that I do miss. Like, you just kind of record something, you enjoy it, you upload it, and that's it. That's kind of the be all end all. Because back then I was never looking at a video like, oh, is it doing well? How's it doing? Is it getting X number of views or likes or comments? And back then I was like, I put it out, I'm done. Next one.
Move on. Yep.
Yeah.
I missed that. So even with streaming, you just kind of like you do it and you keep moving on. And you're like, I got one little new sub today. Let's go. You know.
Yeah.
It's sometimes you focus on things that you didn't really care about before. But all right, next one. This is June 5th, 2011.
I'm trying to think what this might be.
Thanks for 100 subscribers. A relic for all you very youngsters out there. This is what YouTube used to look like way back in the day. There actually used to be, oh god, there was a lot of videos where you were like screen capping stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, dude.
The Windows voice recorder.
So yeah, fucking hell.
You know what though, right? Quite a lot of the time when I think about this, because I got partnered on YouTube back in the day when partnered actually kind of meant something.
Yep.
I don't know how I got it, so I was getting like no views, but I got a couple hundred views a video, right? But I got partnered, and back then, what that used to do, right? Anyone who wasn't around YouTube back in the day, this is just going to seem insane to you, but you see at the top of the screen there, top of the channel, where you can see like at 100 subs or whatever, right? So that there is an area above that above that you unlocked once you got partnered, where that allowed you to have a banner with like clickable links on it that you could design yourself, and it was such a privilege to have that. And I got it. I'm very happy that I managed to get that before they got rid of it, because I remember loving it. You got another thing as well. Above a video, when you're on like a regular video watch page, above the video, where you used to click a drop down link and see other channel videos, there was like a little bit you could get when you were partnered. There was like a picture that you could click on, and it takes you channel. And normally, if you weren't partnered, that was just like a link that went to your channel. But if you were partnered, you could have a picture of anything you wanted. A logo, a picture of a Halo ring, a picture of the ray gun, a Wonder Waffle, whatever you wanted. And having that was such a privilege. Like, that is one of my proudest days on YouTube, was getting partnered and getting that. It was... Yeah, that era of YouTube was honestly just so different to how it is now. Yeah. The platforms seem completely different, to be quite honest with you, when you put them side by side. It just seemed like completely different websites.
I mean, fuck, man, 11 years does a number on you. Only they gotta keep changing things. It's everything eventually becomes more corporate like. But this video was released by your time on your computer, 2:40 p.m. June 5th, 2011. I'm assuming you just uploaded it right after, but you have this one. The text is a very, very nice blue that is very easy to read. Call of the Dead live solo commentary with Cray8. Create. K-R-E-8.
There you go.
That makes more sense. Part 3, 226 views in a day.
That wasn't bad, though.
Not bad.
I'm pretty sure the map had only just come out though. So I must have the map. I think the map only just came out at that point.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure that. Looking back at that blue text as well, what the hell was I thinking with that blue text?
11 minutes flat. Hey guys, Create here, bringing you part 2 of my live solo Call of the Dead commentary. This is early days in me doing commentaries, not spelled correctly. So go easy on me. Smiley face. Part 4. Wait.
Yep.
Part.
Will be uploaded.
I'm so confused. This is part 2, right? I can't tell. I can't tell.
Even read.
In the description it says part 2, but I can't tell what the title says. Part 4 will be uploaded when this one has like 500 views or something close to that.
Oh my god, man! Yeah, that was the meta back then on YouTube though. For like Let's Plays, you didn't upload like one 40-minute video. You uploaded part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5.
Yep.
So it worked.
All over that.
100 subscribers. It's been a while since I've last spoken to you properly without doing a commentary. But I want to talk as well about the zombies.
The scrolling.
Fucking hell.
Basically.
Oh my god.
Let's see here. Subscribers. Go back down. Go back down. Go back down. You had goals.
I want to talk as well about.
There it is. 10 subscribers. 25, 50, 75, 100, 500, 1,000. More hides on the way. Hopage HD PVR. Sony Vegas Pro 10.0 slash 9.0, 8.0. After Effects CS5.
Oh my god,
shit.
man. Oh, dude. So that's what everyone used to do back in the day when you had like that box on your channel.
Yeah.
You used to have like milestones in it, and if you find some channels that have been around for a while, if you go on their about section on their current channel, they still have them left over. They've just never changed them, and they've carried over, which is quite cool. But you used to have those, and you used to like. I didn't do this, but you used to put a date next to it when you filled it in. So say like the date when you hit 50 subs, the date you hit 100 subs, etc., etc. Almost like in hindsight, like a diary kind of.
I see it on. I've seen it. I think I've done it myself. Honestly, I see it on Twitch too. Like all these milestones and the date. Yep. Huh.
Quite a cool way to keep track of it all.
Yep. Design.
Yeah. And then there's also if you look at channel views as well, used to be a thing. You used to be able to look at how many people had actually viewed your channel.
2,185.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Oh, the zombies lobby I'm going to be doing. The open one. Basically, I'm probably going to be doing it next week. I'm guessing Friday night because we've got exams all this week and I've got to revise today. So if you want to message me on it on YouTube or Xbox over the weekend and throughout the week,
oh my god. Okay.
To message me.
So those exams, I completely bombed them. So much so, right, that when we got our exam results from them, they arrived in the post, and I hid them. I hid them from my mum for like 2 months, and then I was at my friend's house, and my mum came to pick me up. And bear in mind, at this point, I was like 14, I think. So it was in 9th grade / year 9. And my mum came to pick me up from my friend's house. And she asked mum, like, she asked my friend's mum, like, has he had his like report yet? Has he had his results yet? And she was like, oh yeah, like 2 months ago. and then we got in the car, and mum was like, right, have you had results yet? And I was like,
I think they were lost in the mail, maybe, Mom. Yeah, those damn mail carriers aren't always the best.
I literally said that. I was like, I'm pretty sure they just got lost in the mail. But then she got it out of me. She found them. And apparently my grades weren't even that bad, but they were pretty bad because I spent that entire like time just playing zombies. I was just literally doing nothing but playing zombies. So
fucking hell. That's insane. Holy shit. All right, next one. August 27th, 2011.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So not gonna watch the whole thing because it's 20 minutes, but there's a small section. I was kind of skipping around. I was watching a bit of it, and there was a small section where I was like, oh, he just said something pretty interesting. I'm gonna ask him this question next time he sees it. So
okay,
go ahead and see here.
We're here with Elite Pig, who's hosting the server, and Willow 556.
This is also probably really nostalgic for a lot of Minecraft players.
Yeah, we were all in the same room when we did this.
Oh wow! I thought 2 of you were. I didn't know all 3.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, me and Elite Pig were in the same room. Literally here. We were here.
Wow.
Recording this, and then I think my other friend was like on like we were like talking over some TeamSpeak, I think. Oh my god! So I was running this. You can actually see in the top. I was playing this on my Mac.
Yep.
Which was not built for gaming in any capacity.
Nope. It still isn't. Still isn't. 12 years later.
No.
11 years later. 10 years later. Hell no.
Absolutely not. Oh my god.
For sure.
This is like
2011
Minecraft. This will be. This is ancient.
Yeah, 2011. Still very, very new. But there was a little section right around 5 minutes of something you did and then said, and I was like, I wonder if he still thinks that. But
loud.
Hate the music in Minecraft anyway.
No, it's so comfy. How did I think that?
I don't know. Turned. He said he stopped. Said,
dude,
let me turn down the music by 80%. Hate the music in Minecraft anyway.
No, the music's so comfy, dude. Like,
so
what's
good.
That one? Is it Steve 46? That one really. No. That is no. Absolutely not.
As long as that doesn't hold up and stay true, I think everyone will forgive what you said.
I I
11
love the
years
Minecraft
ago.
music.
That's good.
It's like perfect ASMR music. Like I feel like I could like walk like an infinite like grassland listening to it and just feel like I'm on a different plane of existence.
Yep.
So good.
I use it to fall asleep if I ever can't. I've been using that for years. Absolutely. It's fucking
It's
some
so
of the
good.
best gaming soundtrack music of all time, if not just best music of all time.
I agree.
Holy shit. All right, this next one. This is your most popular video ever of January 7th, 2019. This is about 10 minutes. We won't watch the full thing, but I just want to see how the quality jump from the beginning to roughly-ish the middle to later closer area, and then we'll watch the latest video that you just put up today and a little bit of that.
Oh, that intro still goes so hard.
Oh, it's so nuts.
It's
Absolutely.
so sick.
It's so great.
I remember the first time I saw that and I was like, what?
That's mine.
Hey guys, welcome
way.
back. A few days ago, an old friend and I were talking about how good Halo 3's campaign was, just how memorable and replayable it was. But then he mentioned never fully understanding one of its biggest twists, the Flood allying with Chief. And then I suddenly thought, not only have I never covered this groundbreaking event and the reasoning behind it, but I've never covered the importance of it and how it exposes the true horrifying nature of the Flood. So today, I figured it was finally time. So although it may have been obvious to many,
man.
why exactly...
So that's like almost 4 years ago now. And the amount that I honestly feel like the quality of my content since then has come along so much. Like it's night and day. Like even my commentary in that just feels so shit.
Huh?
Like I just listen to it and it just sounds bad. At least compared to now. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe
I know there's probably someone listening that's like, what did he say? That's like my favorite video. What do you mean? I love it. But as artists, we do critique ourselves, especially stuff in the past. Yeah, we could look at some. I've seen artists that have released a song on SoundCloud before they officially release it, and it's like one of my favorites. And then they just like live to hate it, and it's gone. Yep. I'm like, fuck, and I can't listen to it anymore. But yeah, no, it's incredible that process that we go through. But but this was your, I think, fuck, I can't remember how many views. I want to say 3 million?
2 mil.
The 2 or 3 million, I believe.
Wait,
Roughly.
Yeah, it's definitely, let me check. It's definitely at least 2 mil.
Around there.
I actually checked it not too long ago. Oh, Christ, 2.6. Okay. 2.6.
2.6 million views.
Jesus Christ, man. What's funny is, like, I wasn't even kidding at the start, you know. Like, that. So, me and one of my friends were playing a game called The Forest. We play it quite a lot, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we're just like, it was like 3 a.m. We were just, like, chilling out and playing it. And all of a sudden, we got on topic of Halo 3, and it's like, I never understood, like, why the Flood became, like, friendly in that at the end. And I was like, that was the first one. I was like, hang on. There's a lot of things that I kind of almost take for granted in Halo as being obvious that to a lot of people aren't obvious.
Absolutely.
And so I've made a few videos about that kind of content, and they all did really well because there's a lot of things like that people didn't fully understand. And when you talk about like the intricacies in like that kind of story element in depth, you realize there's a lot more to it.
Yep.
And that was one of them. Yeah, it's a good
100%.
idea.
I'm still working on a video of playing Destiny for the first time because I basically
nice.
never have. And I'm really excited for it because I'm going to put a fuck ton of work into it. But some of the issues I had with it, like from the start, was I was like, who am I fighting? Who are these characters? Who are these enemies? Who are these antagonists? And like, I was kind of rolling these complaints and these frustrations I had through my head, and I was like, let me think about it from another perspective. If I was playing Halo for the very first time, would I be feeling the same way with the Covenant? You know, would I be like, what are these big, burly dudes that are running at me? What are these little guys that are running away? Okay, they're grunts and elites. But like the questions I had for the antagonists in Destiny, I was like, where did they come from? What are they doing here? What's their purpose? And I'm like trying to think, am I being too hard on this game? When when I was like trying to compare it to Halo, where I was like, it's so obvious over there, but like, is it obvious or is it just obvious to me because I already know and I've already been told?
Right, that's the thing. Like we've got so much experience with Halo that it seems obvious. Like
everything seems so obvious. Yeah.
But in reality, it's not, and that's why that kind of content does so well, because there are actually some people out there that feel the same way. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Funny enough, I was literally skateboarding like 3 hours ago with my friend that told me that. Yeah.
There you go. All right, this is your most recent video you just put out earlier today. Let's take a look at how far you have come.
That intro still goes so hard.
So good. God damn.
If I say so myself.
Hey guys, welcome back. 343 just
Wearing the
released
exact same
probably
shirt.
one of the biggest updates ever, at least since Infinite came out. And it's kind of like a taking stock update, looking at what's happened so far with the game and what they're going to be doing next. Now, you'll see on the time bar, I've got chapters for another section of this video where I just give my completely honest thoughts, having just watched this developer video. So skip to that if you want to go watch that first. But first off, I want to go...
But we'll let them go watch if they haven't. But I do want to jump to part of the... I can't remember the exact section, but part of the section of where you were kind of talking about just, I think, the general notion of...
barely works, or if when you
Maybe
try
I
and
might
play
find
it, the
it.
game doesn't work, right? So polish is definitely an important thing, but I'm just rambling at this point. I just wanted to get my immediate thoughts. So yeah, I guess that's it. So I will have already gone over the news part of the video early on. This does seem like an attempt at a new start for Infinite, which is what I said the game needed a few months ago, and I'm happy they're going in that direction. As painful as it's going to be in the short term, and as anxious as I am about the state of the game come March time for Season 3, it's definitely, I think, the right move. Like Sean said, they could release Season 3 in November, but that would damage all the future content updates, it'd make them slower, etc., and that's just going to exacerbate the issue. It's kind of like, they've just got to, like I said, get over this massive hurdle, and then hopefully after that, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be super optimistic, because I realistically don't know how anyone really could be at this point, but I'm also not going to be super pessimistic and expect everything to fail, because... if you get to that point, then what's the point of even playing the game, right? What's the point of even following the game? Like, there's no point. You've got to strike it in the middle and be measured and realistic. And I think this is a painful step in the right direction for the game. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. I'd be curious to hear what you think.
There you go.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm very that's pretty much what I believe. Like, it's a painful step in the right direction. That's the best way to put it, because it's necessary, but it sucks. But it is necessary to make sure that the game doesn't suck long term.
Yeah. Yep.
It's worth it.
But yeah,
I just hope it's worth it.
can only hope it's worth it. Time will tell is what I've been saying for the past 2 years of what's going on. Time will tell, guys. We'll see.
Yeah.
Can only hope. But all right, I got just a couple questions left for you. What is a choice? These are two questions that I ask everybody. But what is a choice that you made in your life that changed it forever, that you doubted or almost didn't make?
I think return to YouTube, honestly. Although that's not necessarily a choice that I doubted, but I think of one decision that I made that changed everything more so than ever.
Yep.
I think of two things. First one is buying Halo 1. When I was that day when I went to Toys R Us, got Halo 1. That set my course for life. Yeah. Like not to get all melodramatic and a bit, literally has them. Like that that day going out there and buying it has set my course in life objectively. Yeah. But I think the main one is choosing to pick YouTube back up and give it another go. Because I don't know where I'd be nowadays if I didn't do that. I honestly don't. I would probably be a failed actor, honestly.
Working some day office job.
More than likely, yeah. More than likely.
And HiddenXperia would have never existed.
Nope.
And there would have been some other person making lore videos. Maybe we wouldn't have anyone doing that as well. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, it's incredible. The small decisions, what it seems like small decisions in our life that we make that, butterfly effect, and it
I was just gonna say
so many things.
Have you ever seen Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher?
I haven't.
Good movie. Watch that.
Don't
watch the first one. Don't watch any of the rest. But watch the first one. First one's really good. That entire movie is literally what happens. Like what certain decisions do and the ripples they have throughout time.
Yep.
It's interesting.
It's good. All right. Last question. Bonus. If you could travel back to a specific moment in your life just to re-experience it, none of your actions would change the outcome. You couldn't do anything to alter anything, etc. Just to really either a pivotal or a moment in your life that you would just want to go back and re-experience to just remember how you felt and the feelings that the things that you were doing or the moments you were having, you experiencing with everyone else, what that felt like.
Ooh, that's a good question. Ooh. I want to say... Oh, Christ, I don't know, actually. That's a good question. There's a few things going to mind. Like, IRL stuff, and also, like, Halo stuff. Like, there are certain vacations I had before. There are quite a few I could count where I'd like to just go back and just re-experience all that as it was. Not change anything, just as it was. Yeah. Then again, I would love to go back and... Talking about gaming, I'd love to go back and experience Halo 2 again, when I first played it. And obviously, this goes without saying, the golden era of Halo 3, right? I think everyone would want to do that.
Oh, for sure.
That goes without saying. But then also, I'd love to go back and re-experience the early days of RuneScape when I first started playing, because that game, so much of the magic of that game when I was younger was willful ignorance. No one knew what they were doing. No one knew what the most efficient strategies were to make money or to level up or anything like that. Everyone just wandered around like a headless chicken and did whatever. And I'm the opposite of that with RuneScape now. I'm very I'm as focused with that as I am with like most other things in life. So the magic's still there, but it was a different kind of magic back then because everyone just like felt like they were just wandering around, stumbling upon things.
Sometimes that's the best state a game could be in.
Yeah, exactly. There were no like guys to watch on YouTube, or if they were awful. They were done in like Windows Movie Maker, and the guy wrote in Notepad like what to do. God. Then another thing I'd like to go back and experience is the early days of zombies again. I'd love to experience like the mystery of the zombie story in like I'm talking like World at War days when we only just found out there was a story there. I'd love to go back and experience that again because that was like a feeling. I've always been into like mysteries and stuff like that, and that just kind of embodied all that. I don't know that. I'm trying to think of anything else. There's so many things. Like
that's good. That's good though. That's good. You have a lot of great moments in your life you can think about that you want to re-experience. That is good. Yeah. Literally, like, so many things, both IRL and also gaming, that I would want to go back and re-experience. Like, there are some things at school that I'd like to go back and re-experience. There are some things, like, with Halo, with Call of Duty, with RuneScape, with, what else? They're probably the three main ones. Yeah, that's a good question. I would literally, if I sat on that question for like a week, I would probably still not be able to come up with a resolute answer, to be honest with you. Well, if you ever find the exact answer, throw it up on Twitter. Ask other people. Other people, I mean, everyone loves to talk about themselves. I mean, you could probably get a ton of people getting all sort of the same answer, you know. Yeah. Very, very unique answers. And just kind of, you know, take a walk down memory lane. It's always nice to do that. Get a little nostalgia in you.
Hell yeah.
That's it. That's all I got for you, man.
Hell yeah.
Hot dog.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your answers. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your enthusiasm.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I enjoyed that.
That's good. All right. Guys, that is going to do it. That is all the time that HiddenXperia has. That's all the time that I have. That's all that I have to ask. Coming up just on 3, just about to hit 3 hours. But don't mind, no sweat. That was great. That flew by.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. If you're listening live, we're gonna move over to the next section, being Night Vibe. If you're listening on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for listening to all of it. Hope maybe you heard something that I or Luke said that maybe made you think a little bit differently, maybe changed your opinion, maybe opened your horizons up a little bit. Something positive. Maybe you just enjoyed the overall talk. But thank you for your time as well. Luke, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me on. I've enjoyed this a lot.
Absolutely.
It's really fun.
All right, guys. Nade God, HiddenXperia, Halo Infinite, YouTube, Twitch, content creation forever. Hope it works out.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Talio. Yes! Yes! 9! Come on! No! Yes! No! Fuck! You bitch! Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! No! My...